Now then, it's Friday night. Hello, a little bit later than originally advertised. How are we doing, everybody? Welcome to the live stream. We've got 84 watching. We're going to have a bit of a show where people can call in. 96 watching. Please hit the like if you enjoy the content, or if you think you're going to enjoy the content. Dislike if you don't. And if you don't like it, then that's fine. I'm sure there's other channels that you will enjoy. All I'm going to say is hate watching is not healthy. There's people that rage watch, that hate watch, that watch me and then go raging on their channel about me. Just don't watch. It's fine. I don't watch channels that I don't like. And I'm just advising that you don't watch channels that you don't like. And then everyone can live happily ever after. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the live stream. We have Jane, the beautiful Jane is in the house, one of our super mods. We've got, did I see Ellen? Ellen, are you home? Oh, Ellen's awesome. I'm so glad we met. Leighton, he's probably too tired now. But Jack's been waiting all day for him to come back. Hello, Lind, darling. Hello, sweetheart. Welcome to our moderators in the house. Linda, Brooklyn, Isabella, Sing Blue Silver. Gosh, there's so many people here. Brooklyn and your mom, Rose, David Wellings. There's too many people for me to do individual hellos. David Banner, Space Cat, Nikki. If I've missed you, Batman, Lovely Jubbly, Ellen, I've just WhatsApp. Oh, have you? Ah. Thank you, Darn. I'll check it in a bit. So anyway, I'm not going to do any more hellos because there's too many people here. But I just want to say hello. Oh, Paz is here. Hello, Paz. Cynthia Cliff, hello. Terry Noldband again. Sandra, Sunflower Plum. There's so many people here in Castle Howard. Right then. So are we going to all ring in tonight? Are we all going to be shy? What I want to discuss first is the horrific crimes that this nurse did. Now, I did make a video earlier on about it, and I just wanted to for those of you that haven't seen my video, I'm just going to show you exactly some of the things, not all of them because I get too upset, but I still believe, and I might be wrong, all right, I might be wrong, I still believe that there's more to this, what this woman did. I don't know. I just think there's something more. There's no way that the staff didn't know, and there's no way that she acted alone, in my opinion. But there was a doctor involved with her, and there's something going on. Anyway, forget all that because that isn't going to help. But this woman here, 33, that number again, 33-year-old was convicted of murdering babies. Now, she's been convicted. So beyond any doubt, they say. And my question tonight, and I want people to call in, is should we bring back the death penalty? There's a little video over here. Let's just see what this is. Oh, this is when they went to her house. Okay.
Hello, Lucy, is it? Yeah. Hello, my name's Chester, please. Locate Stefan, 2 seconds.
When she was first arrested.
Yeah, not a problem.
Injected babies with air and poisoned them with insulin. You have to sign insulin out. This is what I don't get. There's more to this.
Back seat over here.
Hold on, man.
Yeah. Okay, just take a seat in there for me, Lucy. I'll move that seat forward a bit. Sure.
Yeah, I just had knee surgery.
Oh, right, okay.
They told me that there would be a lot more deaths and that I've been linked to somebody that was there for a lot of them.
Did you have any concerns that there was a rise in the mortality rate?
Yes.
Okay, so tell me about that. What concerns did you have?
I think we don't just notice as a team in general, the nursing staff, that this was a rise compared to previous years.
I don't know. She seems a bit drugged up there, doesn't she? I don't know what you guys think. Now, I still think there's more to this. And again, it might just be, I might be wrong, I don't know. But the question is, now she's been found guilty and she's not been sentenced yet, but many are saying that she will never see the light of day after this. Do you believe we should bring back the death penalty? That is my first topic tonight. And I want people to ring in. And then we'll be talking about what you think of Andrew Tate. Okay, so we did a little video the other day. It's a very controversial subject and topic, so we have to be very careful what we're doing. Hang on a minute. Okay, sorry, I've just read a message from me mate, and I've seen Ellen's as well. Right, okay. So call in. I'm going to put the link in now. Again, Jane's in chat, one of our super mods, and we've also got Ellen in, and we've got some other moderators as well. So if any trolls come in, you will be removed. Keep it friendly. Let's keep it nice. We can all disagree, but it doesn't mean we have to all fall out with each other. Okay, so there's the link. Let me know what you think, folks. Should the death penalty come back? Should capital punishment come back for certain things? I'll give you my view while we're waiting for somebody to call in. I'll pin that link, actually. My view on this is, if there is certainty beyond reasonable doubt. I see that the thumbnail's not loaded again. It does that a lot. I don't know why. Let's pop the link there. You can click the link and you can call in. Okay. Give me your views on this. Now, my opinion is, when they got rid of it, they didn't have the technology that they have today. Now they have DNA. There's cameras everywhere. You can tell beyond reasonable doubt. If people aren't sure, then no. But if it's beyond reasonable doubt, like this is, or like others are, where you've got DNA evidence, you've got physical photographic evidence, those sort of things, then definitely, I believe.
Right, you know exactly who I am.
Well, we should. I like to mute you a minute because I haven't finished. We should definitely bring it back, in my opinion. Okay, we've got 2 people coming up now, so we're going to ask both of them in turn. We had Miss Dog Lover up first, plus ladies first. Right, now I've had to mute you a minute, my friend. Always cleaning the screen. I've had to mute you. Okay, now we've got Miss Dog Lover. She came up the other day as well. What do you think? Should we bring back capital punishment? Hello,
Hi,
by the way.
Penny.
Hello,
Hi,
darling.
how are you?
I'm okay, thank you. Are you,
Good.
sweetheart?
I'm good, thank you.
Good to hear, my love.
Yeah, it's quite interesting actually, because I was on another stream the other day, and the exact same question came up.
Okay.
And personally, I think anything to do with children, and if it can be 100% proven, I don't see why not.
I agree.
mean, 'cause I just think that's just so evil, isn't it?
It is. It's beyond. It's beyond anything. But and like in America, in many states, there is the death penalty, and in many other countries as well. But over here, we're just so bloody soft, aren't we?
We're
I've
so
unmuted.
soft.
Oh, I can't unmute
Yeah.
you, Murph.
So soft.
I was gone. I was about to say, give your opinion, but he's gone now. I tried to unmute you, mate. Come back. I agree with you. Do you agree with Miss Dog Lover here? Let me know in the comments, yes or no, in the live chat. If you're watching on the replay, let me know. Do you agree, yes or no? And just say what it is that you're talking about, or timestamp it so that we know.
But I think we could even, I think we could even stop it getting to that stage, because we are so soft on everything in this country now. There's no discipline. The parents seemingly have given up. The example I would give is, well, I don't want to go off on a tangent, but it seems that some parents aren't willing to discipline their children, and they're not being brought up correctly.
I agree with that. That's a whole new topic. But even then, even in the olden days, hello, Nikki, love, people were still murdering, even with the strictest of upbringing. There's still people are going to commit murder. That's the thing. But I know a lot of people aren't sure. There's mostly disagree with you and me, but there's some that agree. But I think
it's a case of nature versus nurture, isn't it? I think you're either born to be a good person, and or you're not, or there's a mixture of that, and then something happening in your upbringing that makes you turn into a bad person. But I'll let other people speak, so thank you, Penny.
Okay, darling, but I agree with you, but I do think that if there's 100% and it is, they have done it, and there's so much evidence against them, then I think they should. And what people are also talking about is the deterrent. Now, if you know that that is an option, then more people are less likely to do it. But I do think that if it's going to ever happen, which I don't think it will, then you would need a lot in place, not just some lefty lawyer and lefty judge that decides that anyone who does wrong think would need to be got rid of. That is the problem. It's the government in charge of that, and we know how the government are. That's the problem. It's going to be too much. But anyway, we'll go to Murph next because he came up before.
Thank you. Right now, just from my own life experience, and I'm not even talking about anything that I see today.
Right.
In 1982, I joined the British Army after coming out of school, where I was with Martin Kemain, who was a half caste, and I'd come from Ireland, so I only moved to the UK when I was 11 years of age. So when I arrived at 11 years of age, every kid was, you paddy bastards, you did paddy, and it was a thing. And Martin Kemain and myself became friends, and John and Carol became my friends. And I just want to tell you a history of about 1982, about 76 to 82. I think is about the area I'm trying to talk about now. And it was about the fact that John and Carol committed suicide. Martin Kemain, identified from being white to black, has had an amazing family. We're still friends to this day. So whenever anyone turns around and says that we are different, we're not. We're not in any way. We're not in any way whatsoever. So every time someone turns around and says that, they try and divide us and trying to make us different.
It's about the death penalty. I don't know what you're on about.
I'm talking about that when a nurse turns around and goes, look, I'm talking about friends. And and all of these guys used to work as nurses in hospitals. Sorry, I didn't make myself clear. They used to work as nurses. They're military nurses. And they had issues. Every single one of them had issues.
I'm confused, but this is about if you want to bring the death penalty back, not about anything else.
It's not about. I don't think you can bring the death penalty back. I don't think you can bring the death penalty back. I think what you should do is actually, I think, realistically, if you're looking at it, that she was reported 3 times, and the doctors were turned around and shut down on the case of report, in the case of actually turning around and that we will actually penalise it. So what would you do with that? How would you deal with the administration rather than the nurse herself? Because she was reported 3 times.
I'm lost as well. I don't understand. So what we're not talking about the actual nurse. We're talking about I'm giving people an example of why I believe and why many others believe there should be the death penalty. And I'm asking what others think. It's just a straightforward. Do you think that the death penalty should be returned? And if not, and if you don't, then why? And if you do, why? That's it, really. We're a call-in show, so we've got to keep moving because we've got people calling in.
Oh, yeah, no, I'll actually turn around and I'll crack off in a minute. But on the recording show, I'm ex-military. I'm Paris in the Philippines. I'm ex-military.
Yeah, I know. So you don't believe that it should come back, though?
I've seen so many travesties of judgment just on what we're talking about now, just on vitriol of people that are actually turning around and making a judgment on one issue on one day. So yes, so look, do I think that nurse should have actually been turned around and killed? No. Executed? No. Even though she's killed children. But no, I think she'd be sectioned. I think she should be sectioned. I think her life should be over. Because I mean, we're talking about what 7 today and 6 that maybe. I mean, the girl was psychologically fucking disturbed. I don't know the answer to that, but does she deserve to die?
I think she does. Miss Elder thinks she does. Many in chat don't. We're going to get to Nikki next. You don't. I do. How would you feel if it was one of your babies, though?
Oh, well, no. I'm not. That's what I'm saying. I'm not condoning what is going on here.
Would you want her dead if that was one of your kids? Would you want her dead?
No, I'd want her to suffer for the rest of her fucking life. To be truthful,
on the taxpayer's expense, though.
Oh, trust me. Give me 20 minutes with her, and it wouldn't be that long. It wouldn't be that long. I just think about the parents, the children that were excited parents. And imagine if Jack had been in her hands. It's terrible. It's terrible. It's sad someone, but they unfortunately people go like that, and who do we say thank you to? Do we say thank you to the parents? Do we say thank you to the government? Do we say thank you to the NHS? Who do we say thank you to for that? To bring someone to that level. So I could never think about hurting a child.
No, it's beyond belief. Are we going to get on to Nikki now? Nikki, what are your thoughts on this, my love?
I definitely think she needs to be killed.
Yeah, I agree as well. Why'd you say that, sweetie?
She's killing vulnerable young children that have had to fight to get into this world in the first place. And then for her to take it away, I just don't think that's right.
Yeah, I totally, I agree. I really agree.
Wow, the girls are out. The claws are out tonight.
With everything you're saying there. So yeah, give me a 1 in chat if you want to bring back the death penalty. And 2 if you don't, 3 if you don't know. And the link is pinned. Okay, so the link here, if you want to call in, it's free to do so. You don't have to go on camera. Murph has chosen to, so don't worry, he doesn't have to.
I'm in Dubai, so you can't touch me. I'm in Dubai. I live in Dubai. The time now is 00:36.
So there you go. Only for politicians, says Alcinato. It's not for murderers.
And I come on your chat as well. You do. So I'm not afraid of hiding myself.
In a fair fight any day. Hello, Zeus Scott. Lots of 1s. We've got a 2. I'm just trying to see the chat. Yvonne, hello, darling. She says 2. Lots of 1. You don't have to be shy. No one, Mark says 2. Says 3. I honestly think the cost to I do. I think Linda's right, to be honest. I'm trying to catch these comments. They go too quickly. I think Linda's right. I think she'll be done inside or top herself. But you know something? I still say with this particular case, I think there's more to this. I really do. I don't believe she acted alone, and I don't believe that because there's just too many variables there that there's no way she could have got away with that without anybody else noticing. Belinda says yes. Margaret says no.
I saw her boyfriend commented today.
Was it her boyfriend, or was it that doctor?
No, the boyfriend. One of her boyfriends commented today, and instantly I went, "Who are you?"
What do you mean commented? Where?
He commented about that. He commented on her relationship, on their relationship. I'll get it out tomorrow. I'll get it out tomorrow. But the boyfriend commented on the relationship that he had with her, and he turned around and he went, "She was always weird." And I went, "Well, hang on, motherfucker. Who the fuck are you?" And straight away I lurched on him. "Who are you?" So there is a boyfriend there, and you need to find that boyfriend. I'll find it tomorrow. He commented today, and I'll find him tomorrow morning. I'll find him. And, it's a case of who are you, and what was your relationship with her, and what was your motivation with her? Because No woman would hurt a child. No woman will hurt a child. Come on, think about it.
Well, it's happened
They
before.
have. Julius,
has
hello.
happened
I'm just.
before.
Can somebody please do me a favour and drop that video that Tag dropped today about a nephew? I'll try and find it, Tag, but I'll do it. It's all right. I'm there now. We've got someone
Penny, can I
new.
Sorry, Penny.
It's all right, my love.
On that, just to reiterate that it has happened before. Women do hurt children.
Yeah, they do.
You know, Beverly Allitt, for example. Are you aware of?
Really?
Oh, the other nurse.
Oh, right.
She was called the Angel of Death.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the other one. Yeah, that's the other one.
So it does happen. But sorry to interrupt.
Oh, you've done it.
On,
Okay.
Penny. Sorry to interrupt.
It's okay, darling. I'm going to leave this subject open for another few minutes. Sorry, I was just grabbing it for you, Tag. Right, we've got someone new come up who's never been up before. Caller, you are on the air. Hello, what is your name? Hello?
Oh, Panbun, are you there?
Hello?
Oh.
Julius, hello, welcome. Hello.
Hello, Panbun. Can you hear me?
Yeah, hello. What's your name? Is your name Julius? Is that just the name of your channel?
No, that's me, Julius. Julius Bailey Argalastarvichus. Good evening to you.
Hello. Have you called in before?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Can you show yourself on the camera? Because I've never seen you before.
Oh, I'm a bit shy.
Oh, no, bare minimum, please. Bare minimum.
Yeah, bare minimum. So we don't know you, so you could be a porn bomber.
Oh, no, I'm not anything like that.
Turn the camera on then, please.
Say.
Yeah, but it's just backstage, isn't it, Penny? It's not for everyone to see.
Yeah,
Can you see me there? Hang on. No, I'm
Welcome.
not anything like that. Can you see me? Hello.
No.
Hi.
No.
I don't know. The boss is Penny. Penny will decide.
New person with no avatar and a very, very long name. I am highly suspicious that you are a porn bomber.
Oh, well, I'm sure I'm not Penbun.
Who calls me Pen Bun?
Sorry.
I called you Penny. I don't call you Penny Bun.
Right. Is this guy a porn bomber? His name's Julius Bailey Augustalastus with no avatar. He won't show me his face.
Oh, God. Oh,
you know what's coming next, don't you?
Yeah, give me a number one in chat if you think this troll is going to porn bomb if I put him on camera. Let me know what you think. Hello, Amethyst.
Oh.
So what? Okay, then I'll leave you off camera for now. Then, and we'll just in case you are. We've been porn bombed before, Nikki love. We've seen up people's Oris anuses and all sorts. You don't want to see that, love.
I don't even know what that
I
means.
was on here when that happened.
You were there, weren't you, Nikki, darling?
Yes.
Pen Bun. Who calls me Pen Bun? You don't even know me. How did you? Okay, how did you find me, Julius?
Oh, hello. Hi there.
Hello. I've never seen you in chat before, ever. You're right, Batman. I've never seen you in chat, ever.
I come in every day. I'm not sure, actually.
Name?
Oh, I'm sorry. You probably see me as Juliucus 101. That's my chat name. Hello.
Okay, so let's have your. It's a call-in show. You are on the air. So, what are your thoughts on the death penalty?
I'm quite conflicted on it, really. I mean, of course, one's instant reaction is.
Good night.
Good night, Murph, mate.
Yeah, I've got to go to bed. The wife is making noise, so I have to go and go to bed now. So I'll say good night. God bless.
Good night. God bless. Much love.
And look forward to the shaking of the bunnies.
Bye.
Take care.
Take care.
Take care, my friend.
Careful, Penny, that he doesn't turn his camera on.
What?
He's not on camera. Don't worry.
Good.
He's not on the screen, love.
I wouldn't. That's the last thing I would think of doing.
Oh, well, some people, you see, some people do actually do that, you see. So, okay, so
Sounds
I've asked in
absolutely
the
vile.
you what, sorry? Hi, Murph. Okay, yes, so carry on then. So it's a call-in show and you're on the air live. Carry on, yeah. So you're conflicted, yeah?
Yeah, I'm just going to take off my headphones because actually I'm hearing like a lot of feedback. I don't know quite why.
Oh.
But what I was saying is that I'm quite conflicted about it. One's instinct is that you know, to put her to death, and I can completely understand that because, you know, she's vile and despicable as far as I'm concerned, and you know, people like her and Myra Hindley and people like that, they don't deserve to breathe the oxygen on this earth. But then there's another part of me that thinks, who has the right to take away life? You know, like, I think she should, you know, it's almost like it's too good for her. Do you know what I mean? And I think that you know, one treads a very fine line when one has that kind of potential punishment, if one wants to call it that. I think it's probably better to make her suffer for a very long time. And I think, you know, Hindley had it too good. I think they should be made to live a life of incredible sufferance.
Yeah, I know what you mean, but then at the end of the day, you can just say bye to Tag. So we're going to hope you're not a porn bubble. We're going to trust you. But we do have people that do this, you see. Hello, Sawan. Hello, Blackjack. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, Tag, good luck at the vets, my love. Hello. Oh, Daddy Alfred. Yeah, okay. We have to be careful. So, yes, I know your name now. I know your name. Hello, Charlotte, love. Hello. Yeah, we just have to be careful, guys, because these things do happen to me. Cut sunflower. Yeah, I get what you're saying, because are we as bad as them? And also, I understand about the suffering, but what gets me is that the people in prison on the taxpayer are pay. You know, there's a lot of money that we have to spend, and in my opinion, hello, Mr. Underbelly, they're not suffering. They get a TV, they get, you know, their own room, and it's not really suffering, is it? I want to see them. I want to see them
agree.
suffer. Hung, drawn, and quartered for me will be preferable.
It's not justice, is it?
No,
To be
it's
honest.
not. Especially in this
Being
country.
in a
it's not.
cell where you've got a TV, you've got a PlayStation. It's just, yeah, and the people that you've killed have no life anymore.
And I do think another thing as well, what people need to take into account is there's different types of murder. You've got manslaughter, you've got murder, and you've got premeditation. Now, this was over 9 months, and the one baby, she had 3 attempts to kill the baby until she was successful. So this is deep premeditation. This isn't a case of, you know, you're in a fight, or you make a split decision, you hit someone, punch to death, or, you know, you're being attacked and you stab them, that sort of thing, and you get done of murder. This is premeditated, and you've yeah, I know what hung, drawn, and quarters involved. Cosmic water, of course to do. That's the sort of thing that she needs. But
this isn't a mental health issue, in my opinion. This is just pure evil.
Yeah, totally calm. But I'm going to cover a little bit more. We're going to see some, as the videos are coming out of her in prison, I'll show some videos.
Who can imagine though what actually even motivates someone to do that? Do you know what I mean? It's so vile that could we even begin to even understand what actually makes that person tick?
Well, they said it was something to do with her. She was in love with this doctor. This is what's making me think this doctor, you know, there's something going on here. I don't know. But the doctor was married with children, and she allegedly, well, according to the courts, he messaged her, and she said he was his rock. Hello, JT. And she said, he said that she's the only woman in the world who he would trust with his children, other than his you know, the mum. And apparently they were having a bit of something going on there, and it hinted, from when I was reading about it today, hello Steve, it hinted that she told him And it also, he apparently gave evidence against her today, but he tried to leave the dock and they wouldn't let him till he'd finished. I reckon, just my thoughts, that he may have grasped on her. Hello, David Banner. Hello, Carlos. And to get off with it. I said this to Al, maybe that they said to him, right, we'll do you a plea deal. You know, you did know, but, you know, you help us send her down and, you know, you sort of redeem yourself. We don't know, but I don't believe for 1 minute that she went and did this all alone. I just don't. It just getting the insulin out, getting the milk into babies' bloodstreams. There's nurses and doctors and parents and people are always around. And then the other question we have to ask is, does this go on all the time? And is there a big conspiracy with getting the babies? Because a lot of people say that, you know, I know it sounds horrible, but that they use the babies. And I'm not saying that this is true. I'm saying what I've read and what a lot of people believe, that they do actually get babies from hospitals to, you know, whatever their sacrifice stuff or whatever these weirdos do, these cults and whatnot. Is this how they're getting hold of them? Because people often say to me, well, where do the babies come from when they do all this sacrifice stuff? And one of the, if that's the truth, then is this where they get them from? You got to ask all these questions. Is this a much bigger thing, like the organ harvesting? Is this bigger? Are the actual hospitals involved and she's just been the fall guy for this, if that makes any sense? We'll keep it open for another few minutes if anybody wants to call in. I'm going to pin the link again. So I've just
so Penny, what is actually known about her background? What facts do we know so far? What's emerged?
Okay, so let's get this up. Let me just get this up a minute. It's all started to come out today purely because she's been found guilty. So up till today, they didn't release much on her because obviously it could have jeopardized the case. So it's only today we started to see the footage of her being arrested and so on. So let me just have a quick look. Hang on a minute. So if someone just click the link.
God, so much feedback.
Yeah, okay, we've got someone called John now. So again, no avatar. Oh, it's Peaky Blinders. You're all right. Sorry. Once I know who you are, that's fine. Right. But we have to be a bit careful of porn bombers. I hope I haven't offended you, Julius, but this does happen.
No, it's okay. I mean, you can talk to me on the phone if you want. That's fine.
We know who you are now. We know who you are. I remembered your name after a bit.
Yeah, I apologise too, Julius, if I offended.
That's okay. No, honestly, don't. The last thing I want to do is flash anything like that. I'm not that vile. God.
No, it's not you. It's not you. Whenever anyone new comes up and we don't recognise the name, we have to be a little bit careful because it's happened before. Hello, John. Welcome to the live stream. We've got two Johns. Come up, John Lawrence.
Hiya.
Oh, yeah. How are we doing? So we're just having a quick look into this. Her childhood seemed idyllic. She cried at reminders of her home life, but she was cruel and relentless, it says. Just seeing what it says here. For a woman accused of such crimes, Lucy Letby cut an almost pitiable figure in the witness box, clutching at fluffy purple comforter out of sight of the jury. The nurse dissolved into tears at reminders of her home life. She wept at any mention of her cats, Tigger and Smudge, and sobbed when the court saw a photograph of her childlike bedroom with 4 fluffy toys laid across her sweet dreams duvet, fairy lights on her bed frame. She was crying at that. That's her bedroom there. Did she live at home then, I reckon? There you go. There's a bedroom. Her parents lived a couple of hours south in Hereford. So she lived with them and helped Letby buy the smart 179 grand 3-bedroom house. God, that's not bad on nurse's salary, is it? On her own, 3-bedroom house. It was a mile from the Countess of Chester Hospital where she worked. I'm just trying to see anything about her childhood. In 2012, she appeared in a photo holding a baby as part of a story on a person who had donated money to the appeal. So it was an appeal by Nursing Council. So there she's there. The hospital's neonatal unit manager was one of the first members of staff to notice that Letby was on duty when babies began deteriorating suddenly in 2015. Exceptional nurse who was extraordinarily hardworking, flexible and committed. She was very particular with her attention to detail. This is so bizarre. Unlike with Hindley and West, Myra Hindley and Rose West and other serial killers, there was never a suggestion that Letby had suffered a brutal childhood. It was the opposite. Her upbringing seemed positively idyllic. She grew up in a pleasant middle-class neighbourhood in Hereford. She went to a comp school until the age of 16, then sixth form. She went to school with Ellie Goulding, apparently. Went to college with Ellie Goulding. Her parents clearly doted on her. So yeah, somebody asked what's turned her into this. Well, she had a very good childhood, it seems. So we'll ask opinions of. We've got John up first, and we've got John Lawrence. We've got two Johns. Peaky Blinders.
Yeah.
Right. What are your thoughts? Death penalty, yay or nay?
I'm in favour of death penalty, but not for this one because I think it's too trippy edge. There's too many. It's not 100. It's not even a 99 or a 98%er for me.
Right. Okay.
Even though there's a lot that died, because there's a lot of people that could have done what could have killed these babies for me, to what I've seen, and I ain't seen everything. I don't think there's no DNA, there's no fingerprints, is there?
I need to look into it a little bit more, but I think you might be right. There's more to this. I agree with you.
Yeah.
There is more to this.
Like for Inlays or them who killed Jessica and I forgot their names.
Ian Huntley, yeah.
Yeah. For like him, 100%. You know it's him. It's 100% done.
Oh,
and I would
says Terry Knowles.
It would be more like electric chair. Some poison in the food. Duck job. Don't let them know when it's coming. Let them suffer for 3 years or whatever, and then just put it in the food one day.
That's too easy, though, isn't it?
Well, it's just an easier way. I mean, me personally, I'd rather use a bullet, but it's cheapest way. Costs us about 2 pence for a bullet.
Undrawn and quartered for me. I'm sorry. If you kill babies, then
I'm not just on about this one. I'm on about for any like murderer, because there's no just
premeditated for me. It's got to be planned out. It's got to have that, not just an instant decision. Some people, good people, can make wrong and bad decisions. No one's perfect.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, I've seen it. There's been a few actually. There's been a couple of lately where they've been fighting or whatever, or they've hit a person and they've gone down and banged their head and died. That's murder. They actually get done for murder. Would that person deserve to die? Maybe not. But then again, you are responsible for your actions.
Yeah.
But there should be longer sentences for that. And I don't agree, if she has done this, because I know that they're looking at hundreds and hundreds, a lot more babies. It's rumoured to be about 500 that they're looking at. And if there's more, and it is her that's done it, yeah, death penalty maybe, but you've got to prove that it's her, and I don't think 100% I'm convinced at this moment in time to what I've seen and what I've heard.
So, she's admitted to it. Is she being coerced then? Is that what you're saying, like drugged up and coerced and whatnot? Is that what you think?
Well, I mean, most likely, because I don't know which prison she's been in, but I know she'll end up in Rampton with other nurse, which is other baby killer, because that's where she is, in Rampton. Because we used to demo Rampton to get Melanie Shaw free.
Is Melanie Shaw, just quickly, I don't want to go off topic, is she free now?
She's near enough 100% free. Yeah, she's free from prison. She's she's in a halfway house kind of thing where she's working, she's doing all that kind of thing. So she's all near enough. She can pick up what she wants near enough. She's on Facebook.
Right.
I wonder what stupid excuse she's going to come up with, like her hamster died when she was 7 or something like that, and she's going to try and pin it down onto something stupid when in fact she's just an evil bitch.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing. I mean, you look at the storyline, and you can't comprehend that person doing what she's supposed to have done. It's took a lot of thinking to do what somebody's done, and a lot of knowing to even know that, like, all these different things that she's done. To all different, because it's not just one way of killing them, is it? It's not.
No,
She hasn't suffocated them all. It's all different ways.
I do agree. John, hello, John Lawrence in the house. Hello, mate. We're talking capital punishment tonight. Well, and then we're going to move on to a different topic then.
Mate.
Someone sounds familiar.
Yeah.
Peaky Blinders.
So much.
Yeah, I've known John for years.
That's crazy.
What's crazy? Sorry, Julius. Oh, thank you.
Oh, so I'm just hearing I'm hearing like multiple conversations. Like it's like I think there's maybe a delay on the kind of internet feed, something like that.
Are you listening to YouTube as well? If you are, you need to mute YouTube because.
Is that what it is? Oh, silly. Yeah, that's what it is. 1 second.
StreamYard and YouTube are delayed, so you need to mute YouTube.
It's driving me mad. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, trust me. Close the YouTube tab down, or you can always drop down now. Hang on. I told her you shared. Tag. I'm so sorry.
Are you going to Rochdale, John, on Saturday?
I can't. I'm in Essex. I'm just.
Oh wow, that's so much better. Yeah, I can hear everything clearer now.
Oh, brilliant, Julius.
I'm not going. I can't be asked. Like, I know there's some going, but I'm not.
It'll be a good one. It's a good one, Rochdale. It's a good one. I can't say enough about PAG UK. After the 3 girls scandal, they had a big issue with the taxi ranks in Rochdale. So Billy, he's introduced himself to all the taxi rank bosses, and he said, "Look, if it happens on your watch,
we're moving on soon, love.
Your taxi rank's going to get shut down." And he's got control of Rochdale Town Centre taxis now, and he's been really.
I feel like I'm intruding on someone else's conversation here.
Have I missed something? No. What are you talking about taxi ranks for?
Oh, sorry, just me brabbing on. So, can I just have on Lucy?
We're not just her, John. But I'm sorry, Space Cat. We will be ending this soon. Okay, so she hasn't admitted to it. Okay, but she wrote in the notes. Not just this case, John, in general, but I'm just using this as an example. Should we bring back capital punishment in the UK? Is what do you think?
I'm not a capital punishment person. I'm not.
You're not?
I've got a few reasons for it, but I just want to talk about Lucy's case. The NHS, they knew a year before they arrested her that stuff was going on. She wasn't investigated properly. That's why I've not been a big fan of privatising our NHS, but it needs privatising. These things wouldn't happen in a privatised hospital. So we could have saved.
How do you work that out?
At least 4 babies' lives.
Do privatised hospitals not have the potential to have psychos working in them?
They do.
Where is your logic there?
They do. The NHS is corrupt and it's corruptly run. It's a shit system. It's corruptly run. The people in charge of it are not. If you're in charge of it for profit, you try and make it as good like Bupa or something like that. But
for profit means you can't get a psycho working there. Where is your logic in that? Please.
I just want me 2 minutes.
Hang on a minute, guys. Can you let John have his turn? Because when people talk over each other, the chat, it's really annoying. So I just want to do one at a time and let John finish. But I think it's a separate discussion. The NHS is another topic we'll do another time. But carry on, John.
Sorry. So, I mean, the NHS has failed. It fails thousands of people every year who die because of bullshit things, because of shit doctors. We need to seriously look at that NHS. If it wouldn't have failed and it would have worked, she might have not killed any kids. There might have been less deaths. You know what I mean? It's just infuriating. And it's only coming out now, but it was known a year before she got arrested that there was suspicions hidden towards her. People came forward and were silenced with intimidation. It's just not right. I'm not having it. It's scandalous.
Should the death penalty in general, should it be returned? So it shouldn't be, you say, sorry, you don't think
it shouldn't be, because obviously we want death on other people, but what the death penalty will say to people, that it's all right to kill people. And you'll find people will kill people on a more increased thing if they know there's a death penalty. I'm not waiting for the courts to do it. I'm going to do it. And it'll just give an excuse for Muslims to throw gays off buildings and stuff like that. Honestly, it's just not the right way to go.
Do they not do that already? Like, how do you even get that logic?
Get into Muslims and discussions about the NHS. Okay?
Right.
People are going to start arguing, and I want to stick to topics because people.
No, it's not about arguing nastily, Penny. It's about speaking with logic and with common sense. I'm not seeing a lot of logic there.
Listen. In other countries, you have the death penalty, and you get your hands chopped off. Women get stoned to death. I'm just saying, I don't want to go down that route. We live in the 20th.
Do people just do that anyway then, because that exists in law?
No, we need to bring this back to the UK and get things.
Yeah, let's just stick with the UK. I can see no one's removing your comment space, Kat. If your comments are gone, it's YouTube, not me or anybody else. Okay, I just want to say no one's removing your comments. YouTube does do that; it does it to me all the time. Jane says, because Jane's in the States as well, so it'd be good to get Jane's opinion on this.
Seriously,
there's no death penalty in Ohio. It doesn't cause more death. I personally think it should come back, but it won't because of this country. This country's too soft. But I think it should come back for premeditated murders where there is 100% proof that person, like for example, and pedos as well, hurting baby. Some of the things we hear happened, like that little baby P, and the parents, people like that. I genuinely believe they should suffer, but it won't happen because we're too soft here. Jane's popping up now to give her opinion.
People talk about America, don't they? And it's like, they've got the right to self-protection in the Constitution, have they not? Maybe the fact that there is a proliferation of weapons and easy access to them, that maybe that has an effect on things. There's all sorts of different things in different countries, but you can't say that necessarily having a death penalty in law means that people are going to take the law in their own hands because there is a potential for a death penalty. I don't quite see the connection there. Maybe there is some.
Well, maybe I'm going on about extreme things and like terrorism and that, but might be all related. But I just don't. I have a bad feeling when we talk about the death penalty in my throat, because if we have the death penalty, that means that like anyone can, that the lefties will be wanting death penalties for certain people who they disagree with on an extreme basis, and I think it'll add more violence in the fight between like good and evil. But I'm just not comfortable with it in the 21st century. It's supposed to be a really intelligent and democratic society. I just feel uncomfortable.
Well, we're not, are we? That's a problem. We're fucked up. I think if the country got back to being run by us and not by the globalists, then we could sort this country out. Right, let's have Jane. Jane's going to give her opinion. Jane's in Ohio, so you don't have it there then, Jane?
No, I meant to say no, period, when he was talking that about very strange, what I considered odd, that more people would be killing people if there was a death penalty. Typically, we do have the death penalty here in Ohio.
Oh, sorry, you do? Okay.
Yes, we do. Typically, states that do have the death penalty, there aren't as many violent crimes. It's just a fact. They'll go it's in another state where there isn't a death penalty that they might get life in prison, that people will go and commit higher crimes.
That's true. That I agree with that. I really do.
It doesn't it doesn't totally stop people that are mentally ill or bent on murder. It's not going to stop them from doing it, but there is a slight deterrent. Ironically, most of the people on death row have not been. We do euthanizations mostly in this country. We don't do the electric chair or anything.
Right, okay.
Here in Ohio and in most states, they've had to stop the euthanization because what was happening was the drugs that they were using to put the convicts under weren't working quickly and efficiently, so they were suffering for a period of time.
Oh. But they're
They
doing it on
don't.
purpose, do you reckon?
Yeah, and they're not allowed to suffer.
Oh, what a shame.
Yeah, isn't
Personally,
it?
I'd make them suffer for a very long time indeed. And I think that's part of the reason perhaps maybe not to introduce the death penalty, although I can understand the knee-jerk reaction. We all have that. And, of course, when you hear about the awful things she's done, you think actually, well, I want this bitch, if you'll excuse the word, to die. But actually, really, I think, what do we do? Can you even rehabilitate people like that? When you hear of people being given new identities and whatever, reintroduced in society, I don't believe in that. I think when you do something on that level, you forfeit your right to freedom, and there should be a long period of sufferance. But what do we do with these people? What do we know about other people that have committed similar offences? What is there any commonality there? What makes them tick? Who has the right to take away a life? When we're killing someone for taking away, it's all a very, very weird thing, is it not?
I just don't think that they should be allowed to continue
I
sharing our
agree.
oxygen. I think that and the thing is, because Jane's in the States, it sounds insane to us to hear about this, but it happens in civilized Western societies.
Yeah.
We just don't do it here because we're too bloody soft. But the crime rate would go down, I think.
It does.
What data do we have about that, though, Penny? Do we have any historical, like when the death penalty was here, and it was, my ancestors were around in a time where that was going on, in Ireland.
My mum and dad were. They ended in, I think it was 60 something, the last, or 70s.
Yeah, I think it was quite late, wasn't it? Like 60 something or other. I think Myra Hindley, when they arrested Myra Hindley, I think it was she just did all those horrible things just after they got rid of that. I may be wrong, but I think that is something like that.
I think we can look at the state of the country today, and what Jane's just said, that states without it have got higher crime rates. Is that right, Jane?
Yes, most of them do. It doesn't stop people totally, but yeah, it does seem that, like Ohio has the death penalty, Florida has the death penalty, I think Texas has the death penalty. I mean, obviously crimes are committed in those states that are horrendous, but not as much. I'll say that.
It might stop a gangster who accidentally or shoots someone to death, but it's not going to stop a psycho or that.
Exactly, and you talk about rehabilitation with those people. Psychiatrists will say that there's pretty much zero chance that these people will ever be rehabilitated with these horrible mental illnesses.
Well, I'm sure a lot of them think as well that they are above the law, that they are above society, that they're above everything. And I think, whatever you have in place is not going to stop a certain kind of person who has that mindset or that propensity, whatever you want to call it.
Right. And then the thing is it is true. It's not all that hard of a life anymore in jail. I mean, even here in the United States, I mean, you have socialization. Some jails even have visitations for visits with your partners, overnight stays.
It's terrible, that, isn't
crazy, isn't it? Like, where is the deprivation in their liberty when they are allowed to do things like that in prison? And they committed these crimes. I don't understand it, really. I mean, there's one thing to be civilized, but I think there is another case to have certain human rights, as it were, taken away, and to have enforced hardship. I think there is a good case to actually implement something like that. But unfortunately, Western society may be too soft for that. But it's always going to provoke that debate, isn't it? And this is the thing. It's very easy to be like Brexit, for example. You can give people a referendum on something, and the knee-jerk reaction is often not based on a very deep understanding of what they're being asked to vote on.
And so don't start the Brexit thing off.
No, but it's the same thing. Is that if you have a referendum on that, I'm sure if you actually put a referendum on hanging, and this is my mind-made projection, it's not based on any data or anything, but I have a strong feeling that there is a strong potential that the death penalty may be reintroduced if we were to offer that chance. So you have to be very careful about giving people that choice when they don't, all of them, necessarily understand the full impact of what they're voting for on a wider level. That's all I'm saying. I mean, I'm not going to go down Brexit because I feel very strongly about that, and I'm not going to open up that can of worms.
Maybe another discussion, but I like to do like highly emotive subjects because I like people to have an opinion. Just don't argue. And we're doing well. We're doing well. Right, I'm going to shut this topic down. Yeah, carry on, John. John, have the last word. Go on, John. Just because you put the wig on, you deserve the last word, mate.
We've got to be careful of obviously people get innocent people get convicted on the Birmingham pub bombings, 1974. We're at 9 people were convicted, but they were innocent. It was other people who did it. Would they have got the death penalty? And you know, we can't trust our authorities anyway. You've all just said that we can't trust our government. You know, so
but that was in '74, though, wasn't it? They got
what
cameras
about Barry
now,
George
DNA,
and Joel Dando? You know, he was put in prison, was he not, for a long time, and then he was let go. But it was kind of a very grey area. There's somebody on YouTube called Emma Kenny, who I think is fantastic. She does a lot of true crime stuff, and you know, there were a lot of things that were very suspicious about Barry George. But then, of course, people can get framed for stuff. You know, it's like, do you know what I mean? If you make a knee-jerk reaction, then there would be a life potentially for something that they, you know, for a crime they did not commit, and you're taking away their life. And it's very hard to make that judgment call, isn't it? Really?
There's a line, a fine line.
I get what you're saying, but what I'm talking about is if there's 100% proof with DNA, with photographic video, they admit it, and it's involving children, then I think there should be, but it wouldn't happen. This government can't even put someone who's come here illegally on a bloody boat, for God's sake. So there's no way in hell that they would do it. They can't even put somebody on an aeroplane or a boat that's I won't even get into that. Will be another topic for maybe later on or maybe another night. But I do want to talk about that, but not now. So I'm going to end this now. We're going to end this topic and then we're going to start afresh. So my next topic that I did promise people I'll be talking about is Andrew Tate. Now, I had to take the stream down because this topic is so controversial to YouTube. YouTube banned my thumbnail because it had him on the thumbnail. So we can't talk about him as in its own thing, but because he's a topic within our live stream, I think we'll be all right. So
I really don't get what the fascination is with this guy. Maybe I missed a lot of stuff in the news or whatever, but I
don't know much about him apart from what we learned the other day. Now, I did a stream last week, a few nights ago, and we learned I didn't know anything. I came in as a complete blank canvas, and I didn't know anything about him other than what he believed, which I do agree with a lot of what he believes, by the way. But we looked into him a little bit more, and I come to the conclusion that he's not exactly a good person. He's a bit of a narcissistic bellend, in my opinion, and possibly a puppet. I can hear talking.
I can too. Somebody's got there. It's open.
Yeah, it might be me. I wondered if I could just chip in because I heard, I think it was Julius talking about Emma Kenny.
We've got someone new come up. Sorry, I just need to just do this because they're new. And I just want to say hello, welcome to the live stream, caller. Hello. Hello, what's your name? Jessica, is it? Yeah, can you say hello? No? Can you speak? So you called into a call-in show, but you can't speak? No. How does this work?
Looks a little odd.
Yeah, they're on camera. I can see them.
Yeah, I saw their hand too.
Yeah.
It's different now. You can see backstage.
Can you?
Yeah, it's all different now.
Jane, you can see backstage?
Yeah.
Because you're an admin. That's because you're an admin.
I can't.
Okay.
Okay, well, what does that mean? PP, right? So we've got a very, very immature little dick.
That's very strange.
Yeah.
Now you see why, Julius, we do this.
Yeah, I know you get lots of weirdos there, Penny, and I think that's it's kind of very strange, isn't it? I just like to watch the rabbits and the channel and to have an interesting debate, away from the mainstream media, which I used to be a part of, and it's dying a death. I think these channels are so much more interesting and diverse, and there is a lot of scope for real people talking about things in a way that they really couldn't do before.
It wasn't Tech Issues, Cynthia Cliff. She was writing in it was a woman's name, but it looked like a lad. And they were sticking their fingers up and writing PP in the private chat. It was clearly a porn. It's something, and that's why I didn't want them on the screen. So there you go. Another, school's out, isn't it?
Seems very juvenile to me.
I just wanted to say, I was just getting a delivery from Deliveroo, and I overheard Julius talking about Emma Kenny, and I thought that was really interesting, because I've actually met her. I met her on the tour that she was doing this year in March, and she's very interesting to talk to.
Yeah, she's fabulous. I really like the level of detail that she goes into and the way that she presents things. Like, there's a lot of depth there and a lot of analysis, and I think that's where a lot of the mainstream media is sadly lacking now. You get something that used to be an interesting story that we could write about, and now for various reasons we can't. You get people like The Sun swabbing hospital worktops with drugs testing things, and it turns blue, and they think that's the story. And of course, that's not the story. The story is what those people were doing using drugs there and why. But of course, the stable door has opened and the horse has bolted, and you're only getting half the story. And I like to have a lot of analysis and depth in things. I think that's where the interest lies, and debate. It's not to say we are all right, or,
Well, personally, I think Penny does good research.
Oh, Jane, thank you, my love.
You're welcome.
I do.
You really looked into things.
Oh, well, and you do.
I think Penny's
It's not
show is
just,
great
I get
as
a lot
well.
of people helping me as well, like you and Gemma, and people help out. Right then, Andrew Tate. So that person was clearly like schools out, and they were very young. You saw them only briefly, because they look. This is why I do what I do. I don't know what they were going to do, but they obviously need to get a hobby or something. Right then, let's go. We're going to talk about, briefly, not too long, Andrew Tate. Now, we did a stream the other day, and we looked into him a little bit. The link is pinned. Hello, Lenny. Oi, if you want to click the link, you're welcome to come up. And we're going to go one at a time. We're going to go across. So we do Jane, Miss L, and then we'll just go in order, because it's easier for me to remember. Hello, Nicola, love. So, Jane, what are your thoughts on Andrew Tate? And I just want everyone just to give me your opinion on him. We don't have to go into any detail. We did that the other day. We just want to know, what's your opinion on this guy, and should he be in prison, and does he speak sense? So, Jane, you go first, my love.
Okay, I think he's a narcissistic scam artist who is taking advantage of a topic, which happens to be, in his case, men who feel that they are being, quite frankly, very true, misrepresented and put down by the general public and by governments and by women. And I think that he's taking that topic, which is a hitting point for a lot of people, and he's using it for his advantage to collect money. And he's a scam artist, flim flam man.
Do you not think it could be a puppet, though, for something more?
Possible. Yeah, it's possible. But I mean, on the lowest level, that's what he is. I think he's
the minimum.
Yeah.
A puppet for what? You hear a lot of people saying this, but I don't really necessarily see a direct link there, or any kind of evidence. It's not to say there isn't any, but I haven't seen it. But then I'm not the most knowledgeable on that particular person. But
he's like
what might he be a link for? Like, what is there are plenty of scam artists out there. There have been for many thousands of years, since the dawn of time.
Well, we'll go for everyone's opinions, and then I'll explain it a little bit. So I want to make sure that everyone gets a say. So we'll go to Miss L next. She's been sat here quietly. She was first on. Then we'll go to John Lawrence. Then we'll go to John. Then we'll go in a line. It's just easier. Thank you, Timothy Cliff. Okay, so Jane, thank you for that, my love. Now we go to Miss L. Thoughts? If you don't have any thoughts, just say pass. I don't know.
So I'll be 100% honest.
Yeah,
I don't really know anything about Andrew Tate.
Did you see the stream that I did the other day? I don't know.
I didn't. I'm sorry.
Okay. No, it's fine. I took it down. A lot of people were upset because I didn't keep it up, but it wasn't worth getting a strike over.
So please do educate me.
Well, it's. I don't want to go on too much, but he basically, I think a lot of men and women like myself think that men are being treated terribly. And he's sort of seen that, and he's like standing up for men's rights, saying that men get a bad deal, women and you know, transsexual, gay, all everything other than men get put first. Men are seen as toxic, masculinity is toxic. He was very anti-prick, he thinks very similar to a lot of us. And Jane, what Jane was saying was that she agrees with what he's saying, which, because I think Jane would say that, wouldn't you, Jane?
Yes.
But he's doing it to gain followers, because he knows it's most people would agree with him. It's the silent majority. But he had crypto scams going. His website now is pay money and he'll take you away from the matrix, and I personally think looking at him is a bit of a scammer, possibly a puppet, but I'll speak about that in a minute. So the best thing to do, Michelle, is maybe another stream I can talk about him a little bit, or just have a quick Google. But I think he's a bit of a scammer, but that's fine. If you don't know anything about him, we'll go to the next one. John Lawrence, do you know much about him? I'm guessing you do, but I don't know, I might be wrong. Do you know much about him?
Well, he promotes masculinity, and men are being feminized, so they don't want that. He's also done a good run on social media, and we know that they shut people down on social media. No matter what, look what they've done to Tommy, right? His arrests and all that is just like Trump. He'd probably end up not getting any charges, but they have to make him look bad to the rest of the world and all that lot. He sort of like leans towards Islam, which is a bit of an issue with people that I see, because he's promoted showing little kids, oh yeah, he's going to join Islam, and like the English person don't like that. But yeah, he's a good social media influencer, and he became real good. Whatever he does in his own side to get money, he does it. You know, there's loads of people who do that around the world. They're just not as in the public as Andrew Tate is. But yeah, I think the biggest thing is how he promotes masculinity, and that is something that our government don't want, that, because men are being feminized. They don't like masculinity. Masculinity is bad. That's what it is these days. So he's the enemy of the left and the government and the globalists. So there you go.
Really?
So I get what you're saying. On paper, John, you support him, but I'm just saying, could it be that he's just a total doing it to make money off it? Because on the other hand, he does have a lot of websites going. There's a website he's got now. I'll get it up actually, just so people can see. Now, I found this the other day. They said he was banned from Twitter, but he's actually on Twitter. So I'm guessing Elon let him back. But he's got this website where he gets people to sign up, and you pay like, I don't know how much. I think it was £50 a month or something.
Yeah, 49.
It was like that, wasn't it? $49. It says he can help you escape from the matrix. I just think he's an absolute scammer. I think he's
just a scammer, but he's on social media. There's loads of scammers who do exactly the same thing. I'm not saying it's good or bad. I just don't fall for anything like that. I don't sign up for anything like that. I'm a bit more intelligent than that, and I'm sure everyone on this panel is. But you know, he's made his money off social media. You know, it's one of them things. You know, but I think the biggest thing is as a threat to the globalists. He promotes masculinity, and they don't like that. That's not. He promotes like family.
I think part of it. I do. I think he's part of it. If anything, he's making people. He's making a bit like a Tom Robinson type character. He's making anyone that believes what he believes sound like him. So turned him into a baddie, and then they're putting anyone who supports him into his corner. And also this website they've got, you sign up to it, you pay him, you give him all your details, He's data gathering, in my opinion, and giving it to the wrong uns. I think he's part of it. I don't think they'd allow him to continue this much if he wasn't. I don't think he's a good guy, in my opinion. But again, what you're saying, I agree with everything he says about how men are treated. I'm a big supporter of men. I think men are treated horrendously, and women and everybody. Men are always last in line. If you're a single bloke and you're on the streets, no one gives a shit. But if you're a woman with kids, then you'll get a place, and it's wrong. Everyone should be treated equally. Sorry.
Tick a box, you know, you tick a box, LGBT, black, Asian, whatever, you know, you tick a box. But that's what I think. I think his biggest thing is he's a threat to, like, the globalists. He promotes family, masculinity, and they don't like any of that. That's why we've got so many toxic trans people, because men are being feminized. And I think it's a big thing.
It's actually called sissy porn. Look into it. I might show you it at the end. Al found out about it. It come up on something. They call it sissy porn. And what it is, it's everywhere, in adverts, in movies. And what they do, they slightly feminize men. It's a way of controlling the mind. So it's behavioral science. So if you show feminized men in everything, it becomes the norm. And it's a way of controlling the mind. And they actually call it that. But I agree with what he says. I'll show you in a bit. I agree with what you're saying, John, as in he's saying the right stuff. But I don't think that he is the answer. We're going to go to John, Peaky Blinders. John, thoughts on Andrew Tate? You don't know that it's okay to say.
Andrew Tate. I don't really know much about him, but what I do know, I don't like. He's the biggest grifter. He's a narcissist that I've ever seen, and I've never watched any of his stuff because I saw one right at the beginning, and he does think along lines of us, but it's all for kicking, like, kind of thing. That's what anybody does. It's like good cop, bad cop. Yeah. You get, you know, that's what it is. That's what he is. He's just there. He's infiltrating. If you look at his schooling and you go back, he didn't go to normal schools, to what I've heard. And I don't know, because I ain't looked, because I don't know about him. I'm not going to read about him because he don't bother me. And he don't affect my life. But he went to school with royals.
Doesn't surprise me. I'd like to look into that.
To start with.
Yeah. A document says he's controlled. That's interesting, That's interesting. We can all have opinions, all seeing Otto. I looked into him the other day with a complete blank canvas. So I didn't have any opinion. But it's okay. As long as we keep it friendly, guys, keep it friendly. That's so. Hello, Bridget Blaine, my love. So I agree with Peaky. But we can all agree and disagree, and we can still be friends. The left can't do this. The left cannot debate. They end up having a meltdown. Well, the woke left, a lot of the lefties have come over now because the left, the original left, has been taken over. But a lot of these new lot now, these new woke lot, they can't debate. They have a meltdown and call each other names, and then they'll fall out. So we're going to go to Julius now. Do you know much about him? I agree with Michelle as well. Michelle says he's a member of a secret club. I think he is as well. What he's saying, the things that he says he would not be allowed to say and remain on Twitter and all this other stuff. Carry on, Julius, your last one. And then Link, if anyone wants any opinions on Andrew Tate. Guys, you asked for this. You asked me to do this. Call in. The link's pinned. Hello, Paul. You're welcome to pop up, my friend. You and your missus. Anybody want to give an opinion? The link is pinned. So carry on, Julius.
This Andrew Tate guy, I don't know a huge amount about him, but I sometimes tune into Stephen Mackey's channel. He's a Scottish guy, really interesting. He was on with you, I think, last week, debating stuff, various different things. I think he's from Edinburgh, not Edinburgh, Aberdeen. Sorry,
Holden guy.
He's not. No, I think he's from Northern Ireland. That Holden bloke.
I know. I know what you mean now.
He's a really nice bloke. He does some quite a lot of stuff about Andrew Tate. The thing about Andrew Tate with me is that he's a kind of almost like a self-styled self-help guru, and I'm very, very skeptical of people like that. You know, there is a saying that the love of money is the root of all evil. And I'm not sure it is, because I don't think that nurse necessarily was motivated by money, or Myra Hindley. You know, there is a certain kind of evil that goes beyond that. And, you know, there are a lot of people out there that are very insecure. And there are, of course, people willing to take advantage of them. And I think probably he falls into that category. And, you know, you could argue that some people are gullible and that, you know, they deserve to get parted with their money. A fool and their money is soon parted. I don't know. I think, you know, either he's operating within the law or he is not. And the buck really stops with the law, the rule of law. The rule of law is paramount, is it not? You know, so either he has done something illegal or he has not, or he's possibly like treading a very fine line. But he seems to have made a lot of money out of offering arguably very little. And, you know, people that write self-help books, you know, Eckhart Tolle, he's one from Germany, seems very interesting, but actually when you look below the surface, rather shady. There's another one called Tony Buzan who writes self-help books and, you know, offers these sort of websites and weird things. I'm very skeptical of anything like that, you know, but then I'm quite a strong-willed person, and there are a lot of people out there that want a quick fix, that want a sticking plaster, and maybe he's tapping into that, you know, tapping into this idea of the modern man and, you know, getting masculinity. I don't know, but I'm very skeptical of him. I wouldn't give him a cent.
He should have gone into religion over here, and it would have been a better cover for him.
Yeah.
Really? That's interesting.
Yeah, yeah. Been one of those evangelists on TV and promoting himself and getting money, and you know, it's a better
yeah.
show.
What
Yeah.
do you know? Wasn't there that guy in America? What was his name now? Peter Popoff. I'm fascinated by him because he kept coming back, and he was made bankrupt. He was exposed by James Randi, who I loved. I thought James Randi was. And he does the same old stuff because there are people out there willing to believe. They're so desperate, and yet he's you know, getting money, and they're throwing their crutches and their cancer drugs up on the stage, and he's taking money. He's another kind of person that probably Penny wouldn't want to breathe this air.
Yeah,
You know, I can almost understand that. I really can. I think that's a certain level of evil as well that kind of goes beyond the pale.
Sorry, who are you on about? Sorry.
Oh, he's a guy called Peter Popoff. He's a TV evangelist, Penny, who's been around for years. I don't know.
One of them. Yeah.
Yeah. He's like particularly nasty, and of course, you know, someone with you know, modicum of intelligence would see him for what he is. But I think there are a lot of people out there that are desperate and are
right.
looking for a quick fix, you know.
Yeah, and to me, that's what Andrew Tate is doing.
He's him in another form. You know, the shell is different,
exactly.
The words are different, but actually, really, underneath there is the same motivation. And if you look at what motivates human psychology since the dawn of time, fashions change and trends change, but really the basics do not. You know, people are motivated by sex, they're motivated by power, they're motivated by money and land and status, and you know. Who knows what motivated that nurse, but it's likely to be one of those, because that tends to be the basis of evil and wrongdoing. You know, people are motivated by the same. When you think about it, you know, Putin in Russia, you know, he's got, how much more money does he need? You know, what motivates him? He's motivated by power. He's motivated by
I disagree, but then that's a whole new thing, isn't it?
Well, you know, that it's going to be one of those things, you know, unless there's something else there in the mix. But I think
there is
Mr.
a lot
Tate
going on with Russia.
He's arguably very sketchy indeed.
I disagree, but then that's a whole
disagree
new...
about what? Sorry.
Putin, what we're just told what we're meant to be told in the West. Putin has banned any surgery. I don't know if you're aware of this now. He's banned all transsexual surgery. Because people are just changing their sexes willy-nilly, and we find there are some genuine cases which we know there's several people who come in here who are genuine transgender, but it's become this societal thing where it's become cool. Children are doing it. He's banned all of that with kids. He's promoting the family, the nuclear family. What he says, the West is destroying itself. Everything he says about the West is spot on, and we're told he's a baddie because they don't want us to know what is really going on. And
Penny, have you seen Putin's historical declarations where he said that he wanted to be closer to Europe, and suddenly there was a sea change in that? So you know he's changed his motivations, and you know having lived in a former communist state for years, there is a very different mentality there between the East and the West. You know, even in Europe as well, there's a distinct difference. You know, and there's part of my history is from there, and it's like, you know, when you think about how he was in the past, you know how sneaky he is. You know, he's actually like, you know, for example, when Russia dissolved and, you know, the whole of Eastern Europe changed, you know, they still held on to Kaliningrad, which historically was called Königsberg, was a part of Prussia and a German kind of enclave. They kept on to, they offered it to Lithuania to give it back to them, but of course Lithuania wisely said no, because there would have been a lot of ethnic Russians there, and it would have created problems a little bit like we see in Northern Ireland, you know, which was separated and made a part of the United Kingdom. So there's this kind of weird sort of dualism there. It's not a you know, it's not like there is one answer, but there's a weird mentality there, and it's very hard to understand, even if you've studied it for many, many years. You know, I wouldn't say he's necessarily completely anti-West, but I think he's probably motivated by power. He's old. He's, you know, seen a lot of changes in the States.
Well,
and
we're not talking about that, right? So if we want to do a topic on that, because we're not doing an open topic on it, so we're only hearing one view here. So I've got a completely different view, but I don't want to do topic. I don't want to do Russia as a topic.
I've got a different view to both of you.
You what? Sorry, John.
I've got a different view to both of you.
Well, I haven't really given a proper view yet, but it's, you know,
He's a bit like Andrew Tate. He's a good cop, bad cop.
Well, he's as dodgy as hell for sure.
Penny, are we doing
Anyone
paranormal?
can see that.
Not tonight, but
okay, because it's on the
Sunday. It's depending. Miss Al, we can do it as a topic. We can do a topic if you believe in ghosts. If you want, we'll do it as a topic. We'll let people come up and give their.
Yeah, because I've got a story to tell.
Do you not want to save that for paranormal night? Don't tell us. Or do you really want to tell us? Go on then, tell us. Okay,
I do really want to tell
now.
you.
Do you believe in ghosts? Yes or no? If you do,
yes.
Why? And if you don't, tell us why. Hit the link, join the panel. Miss Elle's got a story.
I believe in them for sure.
Well, I'd like to hear Penny's opinion on Andrew Tate real quick, if we could.
Okay,
cool. Finish out that topic.
Sorry to interrupt. Yeah,
forgot to give my opinion on him, didn't I?
Yeah,
sorry, Jane, you're right. I can't remember what I was going to say now, but I personally think that he's a full-blown narcissist. He's a scammer. He's allowed to do what he does. He live streamed a few days ago 24 hours of him and his brother. We've seen some of this overnight in a mock police cell, pretending to be in jail, and they were overemphasizing that they were in jail, like they were trying to convince themselves that they were really in jail for 3 months or in house arrest. I think he's a puppet. I think he's working for the powers that be. I think he's doing a data gathering exercise by his website, because it even pops up with it was saying, like, for example, Luke in Manchester just left the Matrix, and it was coming up with people's names and where they lived, and they're people that have just paid him money to, what he says, leave the Matrix. He's a bit like a David Icke. He's gathering them all up because he knows David Icke sort of stepped back a lot now and he's getting on. And he's like scooping these people up who are disillusioned with society, which we are the silent majority. And I know someone said in the chat that women hate him. That's not true, because I don't hate him as a woman because he's a misogynist. I think that men should be going back to being masculine. Men in the 80s, your poster boys were Arnold Schwarzenegger and Jean-Claude Van Damme. And now we've got these little ponces on stage, like little, you know, people prattling around and dancing, gyrating with chainsaws in front of children and doing really weird stuff. And that's just not how it should be. I think men should be able to be masculine. There's nothing toxic about being a man's man, but the globalists want us to get rid of that, because they know that the men won't be able to fight when the time comes, when everybody wakes up. It will be too late. The men won't be able to fight to help the women. That's just my opinion.
Well, what do you mean though, Penny? Like, I'm not quite sure I understand the motivation for all that. Like, what is the end game of all of that?
Which bit of changing men
Of
into
globalists wanting to feminize men and like so they can't defend themselves against what? What is the actual? What is their ultimate aim there?
Can you not see what's happening in the world? Can you not see what's going on now? How we're all under control?
I mean, there are lots of things that are under control. Yeah, I agree with you. But what is the ultimate sort of goal of that? Do you think?
Well, I think it's obvious. I think they wanted the globalists, not the people. And this is why they don't like Russia, because Russia won't get involved in that. I can't read it at the moment, Space Cat. I'll read it later, love, or tomorrow now, because it's getting on. I think it's not something I can just explain in a couple of minutes. It's just what's been going on in the last... I'd say it's been, a lot of people say it's been going since Second World War. I think it's been going on more since Blair really brought it in. They want to destroy the nuclear family. They don't want people having babies. They want people to not have babies because then they can control us. People will be having babies in test tubes, for example. They don't want us to have babies. They don't want us to have families. They want us all to be unhappy. They want us all to be arguing and be fighting. And no one's removed any comments, Space Cat. Okay, no one's removed any.
You said that before, Space Cat. Nobody's removing your comments.
No one's removed your comments. You don't need to leave, but if you
do want us to be like zombies.
I'm just interested in who they actually are. You know, like when people talk about the New World Order, and you think there's somebody at the top of this chain, you know, with all this agenda, and making people feminized and squabbling and whatever. Like, I don't necessarily understand the structure of that. You know, we're all theorizing, of course, but
no, we're not theorizing. That's the thing. We were called tinfoil hat conspiracy theories for many years, but now it's all coming true.
A lot of things are, yeah, for sure.
They everything, borders. They don't want anyone to be a nationalist. They want us all to mix in and blend in and become one omni race, like a uni race where there's no individuals. They hate families. They just want to destroy the nuclear family, which they've done now. And in Russia and in the East, this doesn't happen in the East. I don't know how you can not have seen what's happening, but I can't explain it all in one go. But you know, it's been done in a way. It's been done slowly, in a way that has brainwashed you, it seems, and many others. Some people most people fell for it. It's called behavioural science. It's what they do. It's what SAGE was. One of the people in SAGE was a behavioural scientist. They're an expert on how to change how people think, and that's going on. Sorry, John.
RSE at schools. Sexual education in schools. That's another part of it.
Yeah, that's why I homemade my son, because I don't want him to go and be indoctrinated into this system that is just breaking everyone down. Yeah, exactly. Sunflower Empress just got it and the comments gone, so I can't highlight it. You will own nothing and you will be happy. You will eat bugs. You will you will be. It's all about global communism, and it's crazy because it involves capitalism as well. I've never known such craziness. Usually you're either a communist or you're a fascist, but this new thing is communist fascism, because you've got all the corporates involved. The corporations actually run the world now. They're the ones that are in charge. It's not even communism. Communism isn't as bad as this, because communism are usually nationalists. They look after their own. Yeah, it's not great, but they look after their own, like in China. You notice they look after their own. They don't allow the things that go on in China that go on here. You wouldn't have open borders in China. You wouldn't have people just walking in and going into hotels in China. It wouldn't happen. Their race, they would not destroy their own race. That's just a fact. But anyway, I don't want to get into this because it's a whole new topic. And Miss L has a ghost story. So this is not my paranormal channel. We do have a paranormal channel. What we'll be doing on Sunday night, we'll be doing ghost stories, a phone in. But Miss L's got a ghost story. So the next topic, and it'll be the last one now because I don't want to be on too late because it's like nearly...
Jenny, real quick, can I interrupt real quick?
Of course you can, my love.
I'm sorry. Carrie Taylor, I don't know what you're on about, but that's not the case. Some people are telling you that, so you need to watch what you're talking about. If you don't like it, go find another channel, okay?
What does she say? Sorry?
She's saying that Julius is too intelligent for Penny.
Oh, that's not true.
Guys,
Honestly,
another
that's
troll, is it?
bollocks.
Like that's a bad thing.
It's well, I'm not that intelligent. I'm not stupid, but you know, we're all
Opposite.
different. We have different. You know, it's a point where we debate stuff, isn't it? You know, I'm
Right.
not trying to force my view onto anyone, and I'm sure
Oh my
Penny isn't
God.
either. You know, we
Just
have our
ignore
views
it.
and we're talking about it. Do you know what I mean? That's
Right,
that's
and that's
good,
what I
is
was,
it not?
you know, if Carrie
Ignore
doesn't
it.
like it, you know, move on.
Well,
It's a
she can sod
troll.
off, can't she? Then?
Oh,
Yeah, it's
we
a
can't
troll
pander
because
to
anyone
people.
who knows us will just will accept that everybody has different opinions. Does you know?
I
But
don't always agree with Penny. I agree with a lot
that's
of what
good.
Penny says, but you know, I think it's important, you know, that we all have our
Yeah.
say, and you know, that's a good thing about the new media, isn't it? I'm finding it more and more fascinating, you know, like how my career has eroded, and yet actually, really, that it's new and exciting. I think that's a good thing. Of course, you get
I think don't give
you'll always get
attention to
people with
comments like
opinions,
that,
you know.
please.
It's
That's
just
Don't give
it's just a
attention to
troll.
it. Yeah.
They it's probably the same person who came up and you know.
You
never
know,
know.
though, Penny, you do have a banner going across the bottom of the stream that
Oh,
says
sugar, yes, I do. Sorry, my mistake. I've clicked the wrong one.
Yeah, that's why
Thank
I
you,
mentioned
Jane.
it. That's why I
Lots
mentioned
of
it. But I'm
Jane.
happy to talk about my story. If,
Yes.
if
Yeah.
that's
Okay. Right. So what we're going to do now, because I've clicked the wrong banner, and Jane has told me, well, where's my other banner gone? I can't see it. Why can't I hear talking in the background?
I'm hearing an echo myself. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. Okay. So I'll find a new banner, and it's just really weird. Miss L's got a ghost story. It's not a ghost show, but yeah, we've got an echo. Have you got YouTube open by any chance?
No.
I've got YouTube open,
Okay.
but I don't usually have a problem with it.
Yeah, you need to. We've got an echo.
Okay, shall I go out and come back in?
Well, just shut YouTube. Just use StreamYard as your only source of.
I'm on StreamYard.
Oh, so you've not? Have you got YouTube open and StreamYard? You mean?
No, just StreamYard.
Oh, okay. That shouldn't.
Is your YouTube in background?
That's what.
No,
you mean. Yeah.
no.
It's gone now.
Oh.
It's gone. Okay, right. So the next one we're going to be talking about. It's not a paranormal show. That's my mistake. Thank you, Jane. So yeah, we're going to have. Do you believe in ghosts? So Miss L's going to go first.
Okay, so yes, I do. Personally, because I've had an experience in the past. In 2009, my brother was killed.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, hon.
That's okay, thank you. The night before was a Friday night, and I had this really weird dream that there was like a ghost looking down into the garden. It's so hard to describe actually what happened. I knew something happened, and someone behind me said, "Can you see the ghost?" And I said yes.
Sorry to interrupt. So you was having a dream about this, or did this happen?
The night before it actually happened.
So you were dreaming that this, yeah, okay.
So this voice behind me said, "Can you see the ghost?" And I said, "Yes, I can." The next day, I found out that my brother had been very badly injured, and he was put on life support, and eventually he didn't make it.
Oh, darling.
So it was like a premonition for me.
That's awful. And that dream was obviously you being told by whoever.
Yeah.
Oh, darling. And that's so sad. I'm so sorry to hear
Oh,
about
it's okay. Don't worry. I'm happy to talk about it now, because that was in 2009, and it's taken me so long to be able to talk about it, and it's like therapy now.
Yeah, I can imagine that as well. That's like me when I talk about when I had Jack. It it nearly dying in 2014. It messes you up, and it's took me a long time for me to be able to tell people about it. Right, do you believe in ghosts? Hit the link. Hello, Wesley, how you doing? Hit the link if you got a thought on this. We're going to go along the panel. We're going to go to John.
Can I just say though that after that happened, that a lot of things actually happened with the electrics, like the lights and everything. So
really,
yeah, that's what I believe in ghosts.
Is there then?
Oh, definitely. I felt for a long time that he was nearby. Within about a year, I could feel him going away again.
Yeah, it's sad, but it must be comforting as well. Hit 1 in the chat if you believe in ghosts. Let me know in the comment section if you believe in ghosts. If you watch on the replay, John, do you believe in ghosts?
No, I'm not really a big ghost believer, but I'm not saying I'm ignorant. I've been on ghost hunt nights. I've been to spooky places. I've been to like seances. I've had my palms read and all this, but I'm not a ghost believer at all. But can I just go through a quick incident that happened? We went to a fire station in Sheffield, and it was an old fire station. They had some all-night ghost hunt on. I went, I had a camera and all that, and it's really old building, some dark places. And at one point, they got a table out, and the floor is like paved, but uneven paving, like cobbles, but you know, bigger, like concrete slabs, but like cobbled, uneven. And there was a table. There were some people sat down on it, and they had the fingers on the table, but there was no chair for me, so I was leaning over it. So I'm 6'4", and I've got my fingers on the table. So you can imagine the kind of pressure that might have been on the table because I was leaning over it. And one of the legs would not go down. I was looking at it. I tried to press down hard, and these girls were doing some, like, the people who were on the other chairs, they all believed in ghosts. They well believed in ghosts, but not me. And that leg on the four-legged table would not go down to the floor when it should have done, because the way I was pressing it on one of the sides, if you know what I mean. So I'm not ignorant, but I respect you. If you believe in ghosts, you believe in ghosts, and there is some really convincing evidence. But I'm just not that way inclined. I'm not. But you know, and you know, people have out-of-body experiences. I get it, and I get you might be able to talk to someone, but it's just not me. Maybe I'm not empathic enough to be in that kind of situation, unlike other people would be. You know what I mean? I'm more of a robot, so I wouldn't know. But
you like my hubby? It's the same. I'm laughing at that comment from Mary. It really tickled me. Why is he wearing a wig? We all saw it without it. Do you think she's trying to hide
it's not my wig, it's my 70s wig. I wear flares when I'm happy, and I've had this for a couple of years, but you know, I will take it off. You know, I will.
I think she thought that you'd put it on to pretend you didn't have a bald head. That's
no, honestly.
We all saw it without it. Mary, that's tickled me. That. Yeah, no, he wasn't pretending to hide his head. That's funny though. That's tickled me. That. He just likes it. You put it back on, John. I enjoy it unless it makes you a bit hot.
I regularly go out with 70s flares on and shirt and all the time.
Why
all the
not?
time, Leeds all over country.
Hello, Glasgow Dave. Why not? Why not?
Jeff's wig says free the wig.
Yeah, free the wig. Jeff's wig. Yeah, we've got a channel called. Oh, his comment's gone. I can't add it now. Bloody hell. If chat's moving too quick, I can slow it down again for you. I thought it was his cat, says Brooklyn. Oh no, that's funny, Mary. I didn't know. You'd tell him. It was on the screen, my love. Your comment. It was class. No, we love it. We love it. It was on the screen, love. It is, and I had to explain why I was laughing. Peaky Blinders, John. Do you believe in ghosts? You've upset him now, Mary. He's gone off to cry.
Hey, yeah.
Hello, John. Peaky Blinders.
Yeah, I do believe in For a long time, my dad used to tell us stories and whatnot. And when my dad passed, he passed on early hours of a Saturday morning.
Sorry.
On Sunday, we had priests to choose hymns. And that Sunday night, I took my sisters to Spiritualist Church. First time we'd ever been to, like, it might have been a Wednesday night, actually. So it might have been Sunday into Monday he died. And it were open circle. No, it were a Sunday. Yeah, it were a Sunday, but it were a special speaker that were on. And we went down and we were sat there and they told us exact hymns that we'd got for him. And priest had only just been about an hour before.
Wow. Right, I'm just going to slow down the chat. Sorry, we've had someone. Okay, hang on.
And I've got loads of stories similar to that, and stories that my dad used to tell me about devil following him. And
spooky night, because what I want to do is spooky night. I want actual stories. We can do a story tonight, but just one story. Tonight, it was just a case of, do you believe in them? Because it's not my spooky channel. But if you've got stories, guys, keep them. Don't call in with stories. Just let me know, call in, do you believe in ghosts and why? And if you don't, why? I think most people have got a story. I think John Lawrence comes across as the type that wouldn't, because you seem very, you're like my other half, John. You're like, you have to, it's black and white.
John Lawrence, the girl that speaks on other channel that comes through.
The ghost, the Lucy ghost.
Yeah, Lucy.
We don't know what it is, but we just don't know what it is, though. It's come on this channel before, you know. Lucy's come on this channel as well.
Yeah, well, that was Lucy earlier.
Was that what the talking earlier? Tonight, you mean?
Yeah. I thought it's similar, but it was very quiet. You couldn't really hear it, but it could be an echo.
It could be. We've had her on this one before, though. But I just think it's got to be somebody hacking or something, because how can it? I don't know. I just don't know what it is. I'd love to know what it is. If it's someone messing about, then
I don't think it's anybody hacking. It's either somebody at panel messing, who's on panels, who's on them all. And I'm not saying anybody. I'm just saying it's either that or it's a true thing that's happening.
Well, Paz swears blind to me. It's not him. Oh, there's
nobody could hack it that good.
I agree. I don't know what it is. John, have you ever heard the Lucy voice come through? And people think it's me. It's not me.
No, I'm sure it's just like the tech and the delay and stuff like that.
No, this has a proper conversation, John. She talks to us. She tells us her name, where she was killed.
Well, I'll have to listen in more and be a guest more so I can hear it. Once I hear some kind of evidence, then I'm more likely to understand. But
I did the Lord's Prayer when she first came on, and she was going stop while I was saying the Lord's Prayer. I said leave, and she said no. Honestly, this happened. It's on my other channel, yeah. Well, Sunday night we'll be doing. I tell you what we're doing. We're doing Lucy Part 2, and then we'll also do a phone in on Sunday, unless I go out and I'm too tired. But I don't think I am. But you never know.
Yes, Lucy is. I did wonder, like, I did ask before in the chat, and it was never replied to. Like, who? I didn't understand what she was, but now I understand. It's like some voice coming through. Sorry. Is that right?
Yeah, and people keep asking me what it is, and I can't tell you because I don't know. And I've proven it's not me. I've muted myself, ghost pussy. I've muted. I've even left my stream and just left the It's on my other channel, Nikki. If someone can drop the Curious Bunny, I'll be really grateful, because then Sunday night we'll do Lucy Part 2, and we'll hear her when she changed her voice into a demon voice, and then we'll do a phone in after. Yeah, so we don't know what it is, but I've proven it's not me by leaving and turning my laptop off and did a reboot on it, and it was still going. So we don't know. The only common denominator with Lucy is me and Paz, right?
Yeah.
It's happened when Paz wasn't there once, but it was a child and Underbelly was there. So I know it's not me. Right? And I've proven it. Now, Paz swears blind it's not him. And it's been going on for 18 months now. And Paz's missus would have killed him by now if she knew he was doing that. So he swears it's not him, and I believe him. He's
not that good with tech to be able to do
he's
that.
not very good with tech. No offense, Paz, but he's not that good with tech. And also, he's a good friend, and he said, I would never make you cry. Because I've been crying on stream.
Yeah, you cried on when it first happened. I watched it obviously last week, but
yeah, I cried.
What did she say? What did she say to you, Penny?
The time when she made me cry the most was last August when she came out with my stepdad's name. And I wasn't talking about him. I don't tell anybody about him because I'm too traumatized by his death in 2009. She just started talking about him, and then I just burst out crying on stream, and I had to end it quickly, and I made it private. But the stream is still there, and I will clip it at some point when it was too distressing. And Paz seen me crying my eyes out. Now, Paz said to me, I won't be coming up again, because if she comes up when I'm on, then I just won't come up, because I can't bear to see you cry. Paz isn't very technical. I'm sorry, he's not. This is why he doesn't live stream. When he first did it, I helped him do it, and he doesn't like all the tech. He doesn't. So I don't know, guys. He says it's not him. I believe him, and his missus will kill him.
First come up and you cried. You can tell that's that's not acting or out like that.
It's genuine. I was in shock.
Yeah, that was definitely genuine. If it's still up, anybody could go and watch that from last week. They'd know what next one will be.
Yeah. So you can go and watch last week's. It's on The Curious Bunny. But and the first time she came through, Paz and Underbelly were there, and we were both in shock. She also came out with something from Paz's past that even his missus didn't know. And nobody knew apart from people from his past from 20 years ago. And he made me shut the stream down because she came out with stuff that was really, really highly private. And he made me shut it down.
How weird.
So how would it know that? And Paz was so freaked out, he went, end it now, end it, and delete it. And he rang me up. He says, delete it. I don't want it private. I want it deleted. And he made me promise I'd deleted it. So I've deleted that stream. Yeah, Mima's just saying now. So, it's nothing to do with Sunflower. I'll take a lie detector. It's nothing to do with me. You can see it's not. I was crying my eyes out. Now, the trolls say it's me, but I don't know what else to say other than it's not me. And I've proved
it's not Penny. And what I wanted to say about the ghost kitty, yes, my Nefertiti was over. Yeah, Nefertiti was over here. She wanted treats. And so she was crying because I haven't been paying any attention to her. So
it wasn't a ghost pussy. Jenna's made herself a cuppa. Paz is up the road from me, actually. He's at Castle Howard. He's on holiday. We were going to see him on Sunday, but we can't now. But I might try and see if I can see him some other way. Maybe we could go and meet him there, because I know he's going out for the day. I'm not going to say where he's going in case we get any psychopaths.
Just to say good night, all. Thank you, Penny, for having me on.
Good night, Miss L, love. Well, thank you for your story, sweetie. Yeah, Irene, that's what I think it is.
Lots of love.
Supercomputer. Good night, my love. We'll talk about it more on Sunday. God bless. Take care. We'll talk about it more. Now, Julius, you seem quite skeptical to this. Do you believe in spooks?
Well, I believe in spirits, absolutely. Although I like to live as evidence-based a life as I can, and to sort of evidence and measure things where they can be measured, I think a lot of this does boil down to personal belief and personal experience. And my own perspective on it is that I've had so many experiences that have been so weird that I cannot explain scientifically, like so many really profound things that have happened in my life at like really weird times. Like I do believe in them 100%. My mother was a spiritualist, so when I was a child I used to go with her to the spiritualist church in Boundary Passage in Brighton. We go to the demonstrations of clairvoyance and the psychic circles. I didn't go all the time, but I would go maybe like once or twice a month. And I could tell you so many stories. I mean, there is, some of them really, there are some that spring to mind that have been really, really weird. And I cannot explain it other than there is, I believe that we have the mind and we have the body, and there is also a spirit, and when the spirit leaves the body, when somebody dies, I think it's a form of energy, and energy only changes form. It doesn't get created or destroyed, and I think things can go on to evolve into other forms of energy. And absolutely, if you wanted me to tell you the stories sometime, I'd be very happy to tell them to you.
Calling on Sunday night, I would love that.
Yeah, sure, of course I will. I'm sorry, this is my YouTube sort of debut. I'm not really used to live broadcasting in that sense, on these kind of channels.
Very well. I've got to ask the question though. Are you a lefty?
I'm probably left-leaning. I'm a bit skeptical of a lot of far right-wing views, and I'm very skeptical of Brexit. But yeah, I'm probably left of centre. But then I'm quite hardline on certain other things. I think society's become very tolerant, and everything has to be celebrated now. And whatever you are, you can't criticize it. It's okay to be a drug addict. It's okay to not work and support yourself. I don't believe that. I think that society should be harsher. I think there should be more enforcement of our laws. It's all very well to go creating new laws, but we don't enforce the ones that exist. Years ago, kids were running around stabbing each other, and they go, oh, I know, let's ban carrying knives. And I thought, well, hang on a minute. I'm sure there's a law that already exists about that. Why don't we enforce it? But of course, that would involve the government actually having to do something. And what they often do is they want to give the impression that they're doing something, when all they're doing is creating laws and giving their lawyer friends money to create, spend millions of pounds creating laws that they don't enforce. So I'm sort of polarized, really. I'm quite right wing on some things, not as left wing as you might think. But in terms of European politics, probably I'm more pro-European, but then I have my own perspective on that, based on where I've lived, in different countries. And, as you can tell from my name, I'm probably, I was born in this country, but I didn't grow up here. I'm of mixed origin. And so, I see things from a different perspective. And I'm very skeptical of John's, housing party? I mean, really? I've read that website, and there are some really questionable things on there. But, we all have our own views about these things, don't we? And I guess it's good that we can debate and discuss respectfully.
Yeah, I don't know much about John's party, to be honest. I've only bits of it, because obviously when I knew John, he didn't have that party when I met John. But, excuse me, I've had a few people contact me, say that they looked at your website, John, and they find it very traumatic. I'd like to know.
It's furious. There's a lot of
policies. I haven't even read. John, give us a couple of your policies, mate, before we go.
We're just a year old, but we believe in our Christian values. Christianity's under attack, and the white man in England is the most victimized person going. And if anyone says it isn't, then it's wrong.
Can I ask you something?
Hold on.
Let John go, Julius, because he's
all this box ticking. Also, we're sick of these words of they brand us with homophobia, racist, Islamophobia. We're sick of these kind of terms being pushed onto English people, and it's wrong, and British people. It's absolutely wrong. We've all got views on the government and stuff like that. The EU is too corrupt as well. We shouldn't have them kind of people making certain laws and regulations for England without even understanding us. We don't want to be in that globalist thing. We're very, although I'm not a practicing Christian, some of the other guys in the thing are Christians, and we believe in Christianity. We believe that that's one of the reasons why we have crap families and we've gone down the toxic trans route. You can rip a Bible up in a town centre, spit on it and set it on fire, but you can't do that with any other religious book in England, but you can do it with a Bible. Where do we live? Where
do you get that from?
We're absolutely against multiculturalism. It doesn't work. It's never worked. Multiculturalism has brought rape gangs, loads of cultural issues to the UK's shores, and we don't want it. We don't want it. We can have an identity of being British. Everyone else around the world has an identity, but British people's identity is under attack all the time. And those who know me, who are in the chat, will 100% agree with me. They know this kind of stuff I do. Obviously, we're gonna definitely agree on corrupt government, all this. The Tories ripping off PPE. I get all that. I'm on board with all that, but you know, we do have some of our own personal views. And although I'm not a practicing Christian, my family is very Christian. And I have been christened. The church and Christianity, Church of England, has been a big part of my personal life to make me the person we have. And of course, we've got an housing scandal in the United Kingdom. But like, again, multiculturalism, that kind of thing, it's all failed across the world, and it's certainly going to fail in the UK. You said bar right, but that's just a word to brand people. We're sick of these words that brand people. We're sick of them. We're sick of all the box ticking that's out now. White men, aged between something like 15 and 35, 40, the most victimized class in the UK. It's closely followed by the West Indian lads of the same thing. We're sick of it. We just don't want it. That's the national. We have some other issues. We have issues with churches and things like that. We want to get rid of normal things, LTNs, ULEZ. We're against all the kind of 15-minute control that they're bringing in to us now. I think the Ukraine war is a very corrupt war. We shouldn't be sending billions to that war. I'm against war. I protested against the Iraq war in the late 90s, believe it or not. I protested against that war. Don't want any war in any country. We should stop getting involved in Syria, Libya, Afghanistan. Look what we've caused in all them wars. We've caused what's going on now with all these boats. So, you know, we're against that, and we want to be British. And I don't want my identity rubbed off and flattened out. Of course, I know that we was involved in slavery. I get it, but it don't have to be rammed down our throats 24/7. Britain is one of the most accepting countries in the world, and we're just victimized for it. And I'm just not having it anymore. And that's a lot about what I can talk about. There you go.
That's what I agree. Sorry, someone's just asked a question, John. Mary, you want to get rid of some churches? Is it? Did you say that? I'm not sure.
No. We believe in Christianity. Why are we building mosques, and why are we having other religious buildings being built? We don't want it. Islam, like I said, yeah, I can go in the middle of Manchester now, rip a Bible up and burn it and suffer no consequences. Yeah. But in England right now, if you do that to a Quran, you get a conviction and you're jailed. What's going on? It's a Christian country.
Yeah. I agree with you, John. I really do. I agree with you. There was that case recently in school where there was that lad, and he literally brushed past a Quran and it knocked on the floor, and that kid got immediately expelled from school. And his family have been terrorized. Now that's insane. But if you're we've seen evidence of preachers, Christian preachers in the streets reading from the Bible. They've been dragged away by Stasi police. That's just a fact. That's happened. I've seen it with my own eyes. This country has gone
there's a cultural significance about the Quran falling. It's not something I personally believe, but I used to live in a Muslim household in London before I moved up here. I lived there for 6 years in Edgware.
But we're not in a Muslim
I had a
country,
Quran. I like. No, I appreciate that. But what I'm trying to say is that I found this quite interesting from my own experience. So I had a Quran. I was in this horrible flat with an evil landlady who was a manipulative bitch. She was quite unpleasant and horrible. Anyway, one day the Quran fell off the shelf onto the floor, and she then from that moment took that to mean that I'm evil. And she was trying to do all these weird things to me. I won't go into detail, but it was very unpleasant. And, you know, it wasn't because I was evil that the Quran fell on the floor. It's because of her husband's dodgy DIY work, and the shelving just fell off. That's all it was. But, you know, there was people often attach a significance to the Quran falling, and they think it means something. And it's a cultural thing. It's not necessarily particularly logical, in my view.
No, yeah, it is. You're right. You're right. But we've also had Batley, where a school teacher talked about, showed a picture of Muhammad. He didn't show it in a derogatory way. He showed it in a way of we got to respect faiths, and then the religious community in Batley did protests. He threatened this teacher with life. None of them threatened his life. Nothing happened to these people, and that teacher is in hiding now. And this is in the United Kingdom. And he never. The thing was about Batley, and people who know me, I spent 2 weeks up there. I know what I'm talking about. The teacher was like talking about religions. You know, like they want people to learn about religions, and he was showing them about Islam, and he showed a picture. The local fundamentalist community didn't agree with either the way he showed the picture or that it should be shown by him because he's Christian. And then they threatened him.
Well, I mean, a picture would be a depiction of someone, wouldn't it? They wouldn't have taken a photograph of Muhammad because he was around a long time ago, purportedly. So if they showed a picture of God, that could be offensive to some people, couldn't it? Some people take these things closely to heart.
So. Again, they threatened his life. They threatened his life, and then nobody said anything. This teacher doesn't even go to that school. He's moved away now because he's so scared to go back, and no one says anything, mate.
Nobody to see the picture. I think that would be interesting, wouldn't it?
Ironically, it wouldn't happen here in the United States because there's a separation between church and state, and religion never could be brought up in the schools. It's not allowed.
Multiculturalism has never worked anywhere in the world, and
it's not allowed in the United States. We have to separate church from state.
There's so many box ticking now. Right, even though there's more white people in England than any other ethnicity, they want to hire more black people in the Air Force. Hang on, though, if there's more white people in the country, wouldn't there be more white people suitable for that kind of job? Just statistically.
Should it not be about capability to do the job rather than one's
It's not about capability, mate. Honestly, it's not about capability. They want people less capable to do them jobs.
That's called affirmative action.
Penny, I think you would be fantastic as a desk analyst, for 5 or 6, should I say. A lot of that work is actually analysing information that's in the public domain, and you'd be fantastic for that. But you wouldn't be eligible for that particular recruitment drive that you highlighted. It doesn't mean to say they wouldn't accept you for the job, because I think they pretty much would, unless they believe that you would spout something and a breach of confidence, because that's a big part of it.
No, we've had this over here in the United States since the 60s. Lyndon Johnson signed it into law. I think it was in 67 or 68. Maybe a little bit earlier than that. It's called affirmative action. So we've had that here in this country for 50 years.
A lot of Penny's followers know me, that a lot of them will be agreeing with what I say.
Most people agree. Not everybody, John, because
not everybody. I'm not saying everybody, but
I agree with you.
I like different people with different views.
But going down to something that's not on a national or that kind of level, I'm a very big critic.
I'm very skeptical of a lot of your views. I do find a lot of it very spurious, quite frankly.
It's actually Julius. What John is saying is backed up. The Air Force recently had to apologise for being racist against white people. That's a fact.
There's next to nothing about housing on your website. It's all about how do you actually do that?
No, there is a lot about housing. We want housing for people. There is a lot about housing.
I don't know anything about the housing side. I haven't looked at
comes first of all.
Like what do you actually aim to do for housing? How is what are you actually doing about housing then? What is your motivation for that? You want to increase social housing? How do you plan to do that? And how does that link in with the key views on your website? And how do you repeal a word? How does somebody actually do that?
We're a national party, and housing is a national issue in the UK. At a local level, I could tell you on a local level, to do with my council in Oldham, I can tell you everything that's wrong with housing, but it's across the country, and we're trying to put these things straight. We believe that immigration, right now, the amount of people we've got coming in, as Kemi Badenoch says, we're never going to sort housing out without sorting immigration out. We haven't built enough houses.
Okay, John, so let's say you sort immigration out. let's say you stop all the immigration, no one else is coming in. You've still got a housing problem, haven't you? Because we've got waiting lists for 20 years in London and more.
Building
so
houses,
it really, maybe immigration doesn't have a lot to do with that. If you stop that
really
right now, what difference would that actually make?
Too many people in this country, Julius, and the more people we let in, we've got people sat on housing lists for 30 years, and then we've got new people coming in who are taking the social housing. That's just a fact, right? And there's
not social housing, brand new housing,
brand new houses, and there's people waiting now. This, you wanted an example. Here we go. The 29th of June, RAF diversity targets discriminate. This is on the BBC as well. So it's not even like you can't say, oh, it's a GB News or whatever. Discriminated against white men. So the RAF had to apologise because they were discriminating against white men. They were only asking for ethnic minorities to actually join up. This even the left BBC can't deny this is happening. It's happening, but because if you watch the mainstream media, you won't hear about this. And if you talk about it, then you're seen as far right. And people that are saying John's far right, John's mixed race. John, are you from, what are you, second, third generation?
Second generation Windrush.
See, John's second generation Windrush. So go figure. Now, my sister was with a guy for 20 years. Second generation Windrush. So my niece is third generation, and my nephew's third generation, and they're my family. I grew up with them, so I spent most of my childhood in first generation Windrush. They're still alive in their home, so I was brought up around that culture, and I've got mixed race family. So anyone that calls me far right, I just laugh at them, because I'm brought up in Birmingham, one of the most multicultural cities in the world. And it's not just white people.
Do you think, Penny, that those things like they're not necessarily they're not completely sort of separable or inseparable, are they? You can have an element of mixed culture in your family and still hold far right views or right leaning views. I think if you think about how many people it's taken that have come together to produce someone that's alive today, and you think about the different races there must have been and different places of origin in someone's family history, all the millions of people in our ancestry. Of course we're all mixed. If we do a DNA test, I'll quite happily show you mine live on screen. You'll see how diverse I am, but we can still hold far right views. That's what I'm trying to say. If people often go, oh yeah, my best friend's black, therefore I know one person that's black, therefore my views aren't far right.
That's different,
it's very
isn't it?
important not to conflate the general with the particular. It's like saying, MI5, you're not eligible for one particular recruitment campaign, therefore you're not eligible to do that job. And that's sort of extrapolating something. They're not quite the same thing. That's all I'm trying to say.
Well, no, because I wouldn't be eligible to do that exact thing.
Not that internship. No, not that internship. But that's not.
My point
is working for
the only emails I'm getting are for that. I don't get emails for white people. Now, can you imagine if there was an internship that went out for white people only, or for Chinese people only, or anything like that? It wouldn't happen. But they only pay in Google to put these ads out to discriminate against white people. And it's just the fact there is discrimination going on. And even people on the left are starting to wake up to it now. Because just because it's not bothering you today doesn't mean it won't bother you tomorrow. Now, most people who are saying, who are on the left now, and the left is so messed up that to me, there's no left and right anymore. I don't think John's right wing at all. Some of his ideas, socialist housing, is actually left wing. That it's big. I've got more in common right now with Jeremy Corbyn of all people, who I don't like, because it's crazy, isn't it, John? Now, Jeremy Corbyn, none of this COVID stuff would have happened under him. I don't want to get into that because it will get taken down, but it wouldn't have happened. They wanted to get rid of him because he wouldn't have stood for it. I'm sorry, but yeah, he's a left.
As well, when you get to know me, there's a few people in chat know me. I work on a local level, and what I'm against is the way they divide us, mate. The way they divide us with words like, we talk about trans, we're homophobic. I hate the way that
So John, how do you propose to repeal those words that you don't like, because you did state on your website that those words should be repealed. How do you actually repeal a word? How do you actually do that?
But first of all, we get rid of the hate crime bill that we've got, because it's absolutely out of control. It's absolutely scandalous. And when we talk about these words, they're not talked about in any other country except for the Western world. They're not talked about in Africa. These are words that are used to divide us and keep us sections of the community divided with these kind of words. I've done this speech many a times, and Oldham is a place where it's documented. That's what it does. These kind of words do to our society. And
yeah, I appreciate that, but how do you repeal a word? You can repeal a law, can't you? But you can't repeal a word, can you?
Or basically, you're saying,
use it or you don't.
Yeah, basically, you're saying you want words banned, like you want to ban words.
Right.
Basically,
that's what it says on your website.
One at a time, please. Sorry, carry on, Jane.
First of all, we get rid of the hate crime bill. That's what's caused and keeps these words lively and used all the time, because you can get convicted for being homophobic, you can get convicted for being Islamophobic, you can get convicted for being anti-Semitic, you can get convicted for all these. So we need to get rid of the hate crime bill first and go forward from there. But if we keep using these words,
why would you want to do that? So you're talking about repealing a law, but you on your website it says that the words should be
the bills are not laws.
That's what you said on your website. Now you're talking about repealing a law, which absolutely you can do. That is possible, but it's not possible to repeal a word, is it? Yet you've put that on your website, and you say you act on a local level, but you're a national party, and that's what you've said on your website.
Yeah.
Well, and it seems like you don't agree with certain left ideologies where certain words mean certain things, but here now you're taking it just as far, saying you want to basically ban these words. It's almost like a book burning, but you're going to do it with language.
Well, we won't have to ban these words. You can still say
isn't Christianity the religion of tolerance?
Let him answer.
Conviction for it. These words are used to divide us. That's what I mean. We need to get rid of them out of.
You mean ban it, John?
Where we have to do it?
Or just do you mean ban
it
the
means,
law?
It means it'll stop.
Not the word.
It means it'll stop you.
How do you do that then?
It's not banned. It won't be banned. You could still use it. It just wouldn't be no laws around it.
Convictions. The hate crime bill is why these words can get you convicted. So once we get rid of the hate crime bill, then you're not going to get
because they incite hatred. Maybe that's the reason. Do you want to make it okay to hate people? And yet you claim to support Christianity, which is a religion of supposed tolerance. There's a little bit of a disconnect there, isn't there?
I've already said I'm a gentle giant. I don't hate anybody, but these words.
I think you are literally, and I don't mean any disrespect, but I think you've been sucked in by the mainstream media at the moment.
Yeah,
I really do.
I'm questioning some words that are written on the website there, Penny.
There's more hate now.
Mm-hmm.
Than there ever was. And a lot of people will say this who are trans. We've got trans friends on here, gay friends, black friends, all different religions, all different races who agree with me. So this isn't me being they say white privilege. My great granddad were down the bloody mines and in workhouses. I come from a very, very, really, really poor family. Like, I've got no white privilege. None of my side have gone to university. We're all very poor. And the people who built this city where I grew up in worked bloody hard at 10 years old in workhouses. So if anyone ever says to me, I'm still waiting for one person to tell me I've got white privilege, I'm going to smack them. But anyway, carrying on.
On a local level, I'm really against the police, the councillors, the government. I think there's a lot wrong with the two-party system we're in. If we look at voting and elections, it's been two-party system for a long time, but that's changing. More people are getting involved in local politics, independent politics. The amount of people now standing up to be local councillors and politicians.
You're fronting a national party, aren't you?
I know, but we're starting on a local level. But what I'm saying about local politics, more people getting into politics. We've got more parties than ever. It's better for the country rather than the two-party system, I think. And the left are more leaning to that as well as me. So that is one of the main issues, like to just get into politics and change it. But housing is a big national issue. And then we have other things that we believe in. And again, I've said there's a lot of problems in the United Kingdom, and there is an attack against British people, and certainly white people, but definitely people who are supporters of Britain or whatever, and Christianity in the world. So, and we want to bring all that back a bit and, you know, stop that discrimination against us. But, I mean, Penny, you said you'd do another show one time all about the party.
Yeah, well, what we'll do, we'll let John come on, right, and tell us what his thing's about, and then we'll ask people to come and ask him questions. But we can't be nasty. I'm going to be neutral, okay? I'd like to know more, but like maybe you know, John said his part is what, a year? Is it a year old? Maybe
a year old, yeah.
It's going to change things. I don't know, because
definitely going to change things. We want more
housing, and then you're about immigration. Maybe, you know, just thought if the initial, the people that have looked at your website are saying that it's a bit confusing because there's so much going on. So
yeah.
This is gone. So maybe that's something you could look at in the future.
Definitely, yeah. We need that kind of help. That's what we're lacking. That kind of help. Remember, I didn't know nothing about websites, constitutions, political parties a year ago, and I'm a leader of a political party now.
Yeah. So I suppose, and John, are you okay to you know, are you okay with taking like criticism and questions without?
Yeah. And we've been criticised and changed things in within the party from what we've been criticised. We've been given good stuff. Actually, this is what tells you why my party's good. I've been contacted by the far left in Manchester, and I mean, Penny, I mean the far left. They're called 0161.
Are they like the momentum type, you mean?
Farther than them, more farther than them. They're like Antifa-like style.
Wow. Okay. He's come back now, but carry on.
They've contacted me because they agree with the housing section. They agree with housing for British citizens, and we're giving it all away, and people are in hotels. One lad contacted me. One of his best friends killed himself because he was homeless, and he'd been homeless for over 10 years, went on the drugs way and killed himself. And he's far left, and he's talking to me. So, you know, we want to change local politics, and I want the left to get more into making small independents and local politics and getting more involved in. That's what I want them to. So I'm open for all sides. We have had criticism. We have actually changed something within the party because we got criticised. And when we thought about it, we thought, no, we'll change it this way. But, you know, we want people to give us input. I've never been involved this far in politics, and now I'm writing constitutions, writing speeches, and doing policies for groups and things. And I've not done anything like this. So, and we're only a year old.
What's this group called? Sorry, this far left group. What's it called?
0161. Let me just.
As in the phone code for Manchester.
Yeah.
My brass from Manchester. I think I've told you this before, John.
Oh, hello, Penny.
Hello, Julie. Right, so it's called group. Sorry, I didn't kick you, Julius. You just went.
Yeah. I think I had a bit of a problem with the connection. Sorry about that.
I'm going to be ending this in a minute because I'm going to have something to eat now. By the way, I've still not had no dinner, and it's 25 to midnight. I've not eaten anything today, so I'm going to be going in about 2 or 3 minutes. So just let people know. Carry on.
John, just to answer your question, Julia's question about building houses. Well, it's simple. If we're spending well over £7 million a day on hotels at the moment, you won't be spending that because there won't be any hotels because there won't be there. So you could spend that £7 million. How many houses could you build?
Yeah,
but you're right. And obviously, the money we're giving Ukraine.
Money there.
Let me just say about the housing. The government and the local councils have known for 20 years we need houses. You ask any left, go and ask Jeremy Corbyn and he'll tell you that. Go and ask Keir Starmer, he'll tell you that. And they've not done it. The government and the chiefs of the councils and the main sector have not done it. And they knew we had to build houses and they've just not done it. It's not like just
years, longer than 20. So about 40 years we've needed houses. From manufacture, put it that way. Because as soon as she started selling stock off, they never replaced it. How many council houses have been sold in that time? 1 million? All over England? 100,000? That's all gone. We haven't replaced them, they've gone. And that was from the 70s. We haven't replaced them social houses.
Percentage of it has gone to non-UK citizens as well. And obviously it's up to them. They can either rent them back to us or they can do something else with them.
Well, they must be a UK citizen, otherwise they wouldn't be living here, presumably, unless they've all been let to illegal immigrants. What are you talking about?
Our housing is on the global market. There's people who own houses that are not UK citizens. You know, and I'm just saying it's not a big problem. That's only.
Oh well, I own properties abroad. You know that surely that's okay, isn't it?
Yeah, I know it might be, but we haven't built any houses. We need housing now, right now. One of our policies is to buy out that kind of housing back, so we can have it for people in the UK. But listen. Besides that, that's only one little issue of the housing crisis as well. A lot of, especially in northern towns like Oldham, our housing is out of date. It needed rebuilding. You know, we can patch them up, but in this day and age now, people want houses that are more greener. People want houses that are more efficient, and we've not got that kind of stock of houses in the UK. Yeah, so that's another issue. But where I live in Oldham, some of the houses are over 100 years old, and the tourist houses, you don't even have a garden with them. We have families living in cramped 13-story 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom houses. One particular Muslim family, 10 of them in a 3-bedroom house, and it's 2 families. And you know, they're not doing enough. And in Oldham, on a local level, a local area, they sold a plot of land and they was going to sell it to a housing developer, to make houses. Instead, they decided to do a deal and sell it to the local Sikh community or a Sikh community from Manchester for a temple. And, you know, it's ticking boxes and all that, but it's in the area in Oldham that needs housing more than anywhere else in the town. So, you know, so
you're looking to regulate where you can build certain types of house.
Certainly.
Is that right?
Certainly.
Right, well, I'm going to wrap this up because John's going to come back. I didn't want to make it a big topic. John's going to come back and we'll arrange something, maybe next weekend or something. I don't know yet. We'll sort something out so that John can come on, tell us about his party, and then we could maybe, as long as everyone's polite and respectful, because I don't want any arguments, or maybe you guys could put the questions to me and I'll ask John the questions. So we'll do that. So you guys can ask questions in chat. Jane, would you be okay with helping me with that, hon? So you can.
Of course. Yes.
Yeah. So we'll do something so that everyone gets to say. But I just want to add that the green belt where we are is being eaten up, and they keep saying about build more. What they should be doing is building more in the cities, because in the cities it's full of derelict buildings and there's warehouses.
No. But what that does is increase crime. I can prove it in Oldham. Oldham Town Centre is the worst crime area in Oldham, and it's had new blocks of flats and all HMOs, and it's now one of the worst areas in Greater Manchester because we've put residential properties in the city centre. London city centre is one of the most dangerous areas in the country.
Well, most city centres are, if you look at that. You know, that's what a city is, isn't it?
No, but they never used to be. They never used to be because when there
weren't commit crime usually for money.
How many new houses have been built, John, in the last 10 years?
There's a lot. You know, they are being built. They are, because where I live now,
nobody can afford
1,000 houses in a tiny little town.
Yeah, well, that's where I was going to get on to my town. And this is all council land, this, right? Every school we had, and there's about 5 schools, they're knocked down, they sell total land off, and they put housing estates, private housing estates on them. So council sell land cheap, and a private housing estate comes along, and then they gear back 2 or 3 houses to, well, not to council, but it's to what they call it in it, which is corrupt well, because obviously directors are getting paid on it, so it's not non-profitable, but it's supposed to be non-profitable, but it isn't. And all these areas, and I'm talking thousands of houses now, even up farmland, all farmland's being built on. There's 300 houses going at top of road. It's only a small town. Yeah, and I bet there's thousands of houses being built in the last 10 years in my area alone. But yeah, council has got more money.
Because
how's that work?
It's because it's cheaper to build on greenbelt than it is to build on existing structures in cities where they've got to dig up the foundations and they've got to start again. Greenbelt, they can just it's fresh land, it's cheaper and it's easier. And what they're doing is a disgrace. And that's why the Tories who have been in my council now for decades, and we've got a Tory MP. The last local elections in May, I refused to vote. I always vote Conservative. I refuse to vote. The Lib Dems have neck and neck with the Tories now because people are that fed up. The Lib Dems promised to stop the building, but they're doing it everywhere. And the Lib Dems carry on the building. They're tricking people to get in, but they're in now. So God knows what's going to happen. But in my town,
I think everybody should vote, but you should vote for an independent. I don't think anybody should vote. I don't like parties.
Reform next, and I've joined.
Voting's definitely changing, and there is more independents and small local and national parties like mine getting involved.
The problem with the party system though is it's the party first, and it always will be, and it don't matter who you are, sooner or later it will be the party first.
It depends. It depends. Though, it depends. We're not a national. We're not anywhere near like the Labour Party.
Oh yeah, I know yours ain't at the moment, but if you got as big as them,
we're already.
They would protect your party. You might not be of them, but everyone were in charge would protect your party because you're going to protect your brand. That's your brand.
Yeah, we're pushing local politics. That's what first. We're not pushing national party politics.
Maybe change the name then, John. I'm not saying that's what you got to do. I'm just saying maybe that's an idea. And the Conservatives now are disgusting and vile. I hate them. But traditional Conservative values is what I'm talking about. Traditional Conservatives, but I don't agree with a lot of what they do. A lot of it, but I absolutely detest Labour. I detest them since Blair. The new Labour has just destroyed. I just think both parties are just both the same now. We need a new party.
Yeah, they're exactly the same. In fact, there's more millionaires on Labour front bench than these on Conservative front benches, believe it or not.
I'd say both of the Tories and the Labour.
And they're protecting the money. They're both same. They're for elites. They're not for working class, none of them.
What we need now, we need a clear left and a right. There's no left and right anymore. There's just a uni party in the middle. So what they should do is that the right wing of the Conservative Party should break away and maybe join Reform. And the left, the proper true lefties, the liberal left of the Labour Party should break away. And then what's left of the Conservatives and the Labour should just become one party because it's so fractured. There's no left and right anymore in this country. It doesn't matter what you... I'm not left. I'm not right wing. I always thought of myself as being
left and right wing because I don't think far right. People call people far right. When what last time anybody ever saw far right, proper far right, that were from 70s and 80s? Because there is. And I went to school with mixed school, obviously. Grew up with. Obviously, a lot of black people around me. Went to school with them. Still get on with them today. And the only far right I saw were in 80s, and it were wrote on a wall. I never saw the people. The one on. And nowadays, proper far right. They'll call them like me and John far right. We're middle. I'd say we're middle. I'd say John's middle.
I'm centre left, me. I'm centre left on the when I do the political spectrum test. Heidi, tune in when I'm on, Heidi. We can change, honestly. It's not just Labour and Conservative. Things are really changing now. And I
always say,
I don't.
I always say I'm centre, me, because I don't want to lean to the left because they're quite obviously far left and whatnot. Because you're either left. You can't be left and far left. You're either left, or you're right, or you're centre.
I don't think you have to be anything
common
anymore.
sense. Common sense. Everything's money orientated in any case in the world. Everything adds up to money. It don't matter what you're doing, whether you're building houses, whether immigration, whatever it is, it all boils down to money.
Yeah, I just think tear the whole thing up, tear it up and start again and base it on the Magna Carta is what I think, because we've just gone so far down this road of just insane. Right, I'm going to get off now. I just want Julius, if you've got anything you want to add, because I really want to go.
I want Julius. Make sure you're watching stream next time, Julius. Anyway.
Julius, yeah, when I interview John, get your questions ready.
Yeah, by all means. I think it would be interesting to look at those things. I'd just like to thank everyone tonight for listening and for having me. And it's been a very interesting experience, and wish you all well.
Julius, because I like all different views, and I don't like an echo chamber. And some people, we might end up at the end where some people agree that didn't think they would, and disagree where they did. I agree with some of what John says, but I don't agree with everything John says. That's okay.
I've always said, that my mind-made projection is not a statement of fact. I don't think anybody's is necessarily. We often feel very strongly about our own views because that's what forms us. That's what makes us who we are. But we can debate those things with respect, and maybe get heated. But as long as there's a foundation of respect, then that's all there needs to be, really, isn't it?
Jane, would you got anything you want to add, my love?
No, I think it's been a really great stream. I love it. Penny knows too. Her and I don't agree on every issue, but as long as you can, agree to disagree and still respect the other person, everybody has a different point of view. I don't want to talk to people that always think like me either. Quite frankly, you can't grow.
Batman. Thank you, everybody. John, Peaky Blinders. Do you want to say anything?
Yeah, same as everybody that's just said. Nobody's going to. You can put two lefties in a room and they'll disagree with each other.
Exactly.
You can put two far right in a room and they'll disagree with it, or two centres. Everybody's got their own opinions and whatnot, and it's about just discussing that, isn't it? So, it's nice to get along with everybody in a chat and everybody's point of view is listened. It's good, isn't it? And I'll see John at a demo at some point, John.
You certainly will, man. You certainly will. Honestly, I hope Julius. I hope you come on next time. I like Julius. I like some of the stuff he said. But this is what I'm doing now for the rest of my life. I'm not going to do anything else. We can talk and we can marvel. We can slag people off. We can do videos on people. We could talk about true crime. I know you do a lot of good stuff, Penny, but I want to actively get involved in changing my country in the future, and then I want to be a part of it, and that's what I want to do. Those people who know me in the chat, they know I'm motivated. I'm not no slacker. I'm getting motivated to change things, and we're making an impact in local politics, and hopefully we can get that impacted into national politics. But that's what I want to do. Now I'm a pretty decent guy. I'm not really a bad man or anything. I don't really go for drama. I'm not keen on getting out with anyone. But yeah, we've got to talk and we've got to be good. So, but thank you guys. Thank you.
Guy. With me, John, because I don't know if you're aware, but I'm a carer for my autistic son. He's just hit 9, and I care for animals. And I couldn't work from 35 because of my health, so I homeschool him, and I do my bit what I can do for him. So I talk about home education. I want to do more on that because a lot of parents don't realise that it's actually legal to home educate your children. You don't have to allow the indoctrination in schools. my little boy is 9. He's just at 9. He can read, he can write. He's very, very social. He's very polite, well-mannered, and he's never been to school. And people can't believe it that he's never been to school. So I think that's my calling, is talking to people about that.
I like that.
The schools now are just shocking, and I would like to do more on that. So I might start putting some videos and streams together on home education, because it's not what you think it is. You don't have to sit down like for 5 hours a day, like, and do school hours. You don't even have to follow the national curriculum. It's age appropriate education. And say anyone that's seen my Jack will know that he's polite, he's well mannered, and he's just a lovely little boy. So I think that more people could get into that. And I think during the lockdown, a lot of people did home ed and realise that actually their children were more well behaved. Thank you. Right, my dinner's here now, so I'm going to go. But I want to say a massive thank you to our panel. I really, really appreciate you. We'll get John on, and we'll get some questions together for him.
Night, bye.
Good night, everybody. Can we all say thank you to everybody?
Thank you, guys. Thank you, everyone in the chat. Thank you, panel. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much, everybody. Good night. Good night, Penny.
Night,
Cheers
night,
now.
night.
Bye-bye.
Night.